Welcome back. Am I overmodulated? What's up, y'all? What's up, locals? What's up?
Oh.
You know, what happened? What? Oh, yeah, fuck yeah, dude. We got the smelling salts here. Oh. It had been a while. Wow, that really works. Oh. Pair that with a Zone nicotine pouch,
Zone.
which actually I have on my person.
Reader.
That's the kind. Oh God.
Shit.
Yeah. See, that's what we used to do. These are smelling salts. It's not drugs. Give me one more, will you? While I'm gathering my faculties here to talk about.
My eyes are welled
So
up.
you know it's hitting. You know it's hitting good when it makes your eyes water a little.
Oh yeah, for sure. People are gonna be like, "Damn, those guys are smoking pot in the studio." Not at all. Oh shoot! Just lost the contact.
Oh,
Bo, are you,
man, knock
Bo,
the
are you
contact
jealous
out.
of
Put
us
that back in.
snorting some
Somebody
salt
take
over
the
here?
wheel.
Yeah, absolutely. I actually have some at home just for fun. So I'll bring them in next Monday.
Honestly, as I get older and I have lower like baseline energy,
You might need those.
I might need to do that a little bit more often.
It felt good.
Seriously, that felt fucking amazing. I'm ready to roll.
I knew you were gonna say that.
I hope the chat is good. I'm great. I got tears in my eyes. I'll try to. I lost a damn contact, but this is week 1, man. And the thing you always forget about week 1 is that there are a bunch of games. So I appreciate you guys grinding through the slate to prepare for this 2 p.m. sharp start time. I want to introduce the crew. We've got Dr. Fax here to my right. We got Nolan Mert
What up?
here second from my right, and then Cowboy Reed. Everybody knows Cowboy Reed. Looking good, dude. Thanks for procuring these jackets.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Oh, you went with the Whitworth swag with
yeah,
the hoodie.
dude.
You got
Yeah,
that
baby.
look going on. I think you noticed. I think you noticed the jackets. This isn't like I think it was Wayne's World when they came back and they had a new studio and the show had clearly changed. Like they had gotten too big time. We haven't gotten big time. Nothing's changed at all. I just wanted some fucking jackets.
Yeah.
I wanted us to look like we're on a TV show because this is essentially like getting ready for a TV show.
We're
every
trying to
Monday.
will it into existence.
We're trying to
the
will this.
jackets.
Somebody pay us like it's a TV show, will you? You know, look good, feel good, play good.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I'm saying. So anyways, we have a whole lot to get to today. Like I said, full slate of games. As hard as you try, you never get used to like breaking down all the games in one slate, but we're going to do the very best we can. And if we leave your team out a little bit today, I will hit them in a little bit more detail on the midweek show. I want to lay out the fall schedule for everybody. We are going to be right here, same time, same place, every Monday, 2 p.m. And we will be giving you this live show, breaking down the Sunday slate, previewing Monday Night Football, just briefly at the end of the deal. And then midweek on Wednesday, you can find me and a guest, usually. And sometimes the guest is going to be somebody a little bit wacky. You're not going to be like, damn, you know, I'm not going to get like film breakdown on every Wednesday. Like sometimes I just gave our guest booker a list of guests, and some of the names are like they have nothing to do with football. And everybody's like, okay. That's my way of taking a break midweek, but also like this week, for instance, I got one of the biggest football minds in America coming on the show, Big Cat. So that's going to be Wednesday. Myself and Big Cat are going to go back and forth for hopefully 45 minutes to an hour, talk a little football, talk a little life, catch up with Big Cat. And then Friday, that's the jam-packed show that's got the preview slate. It's also got myself, Dr. Fax, you know, Macon, some combination of Macon and Stanford Steve as well. We're going through locks, by the way. 4-1 this week.
And who was 0-5?
Tell him, because on Thursday, when we record the Friday pod, Macon is out for blood. He's pissed off about something.
And it's really, you know, he can be mad as much as he wants, but he went 0-5.
He went 0-5.
You know? Big deal.
Make
he
better
just
picks.
whines. Wine.
Wine.
You know?
He's a real wine and cheese type of guy.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Oh, country club living there.
And
Well, I can't.
Yeah.
I can't say anything about that. If
Why?
he lost that, he's whooping my ass in fantasy. So
Is he really?
He got to win this week in something.
did he beat you?
Like he's beating me and still got 2 players to play tonight.
Damn. So he can rest them. He can load manage and
Trusted
still beat
starters.
you, huh?
That's disrespectful.
That's really disrespectful.
And he even went as far. I'm sure all the locals in the chat saw us put out the voicemail line. He even went as far to drop an anonymous voicemail last night.
Did he really?
Nathan did. Yeah.
Well, we'll listen to that later, and maybe that'll be our voicemail for the week. We are putting out a we're see this green phone right here. Call this green phone next week after your team wins or loses, preferably if you've been drinking, and leave us a message. Cowboy Reed, where are you leaving that number for people?
That number is going to be. So I pull it up for 202.
Yeah.
991-0723. Give a ring.
202-991-0723. There we go. Justin Fields, Michael Jordan. That's the way I remember 4-digit combinations,
Yep.
2 pro athletes. So, Justin Fields, the number 7 era has begun
It's also
in New York, and that was a lot of fun.
phone number is also in our description.
It's in our
The show description.
Find it in the show description. So let's get into it, man. Like Sunday Night Football, 2 heavyweight teams. You know, Mark Sanchez had a great quote yesterday on TV. And I don't know if the executives liked it because it was kind of like maybe on the line, like in today's world, where he was like, yeah, week 1's a dirty little liar, just like your ex. And whoever was doing the game was like, me, my ex? Like, but no, anybody has an ex that they probably don't think so highly of. And you don't believe what they have to say. And week 1, honestly, is a lot of the same thing. Like, remember last year we thought the Saints were going to be very good. You know, over the years we've fallen in love with teams the first month of the season. There's always your September teams. But we are starting with Sunday night because it's Sunday Night Football, but it's also 2 of the biggest unquestioned heavyweights in the NFL, the Buffalo Bills and the Baltimore Ravens. And I said coming in this game, I said I'm a little bit worried about my Bills. I put the Bills in the Super Bowl, but I'm worried about them week 1. And I'm worried in part because I thought they played Trey White at corner. They actually played a 6th-round rookie.
Yep. Dorian Strong.
Yeah, Strong at corner. They've got, safety group that shows up on film a lot, not in a great way. And they always look small when they play the Ravens, and they did for much of this game. And there is a saying in life that hope is not a strategy. Have you heard that one before?
Oh, yeah.
It is a strategy, though, when you're playing the Baltimore Ravens. And when you're playing the Baltimore Ravens offense, you can just hang in there throughout the game and hope that they will make a big mistake. And that is what this team has turned into. And I hate to say it, but that's the thing that, like when you break down what will happen in the postseason this year, they are that team. Kevin Clark put it this way last week on the show, and I thought he was great. They're that team when you look back over the past 25, 30 years of NFL fandom, as far as you can remember, they're those teams that you remember and you're like, damn, it's no surprise to me that they won it that year when you look back in retrospect. And I think Baltimore, he termed them the team this year that's like, oh, of course they won it. If they did, you'd look at that roster and say, that's the best fucking team in the league. And, a lot of people have echoed that sentiment, but they make mistakes. They beat themselves. And honestly, these 2 teams are kind of like watching 2 NBA teams play. Watching Golden State and some other team in the West in Golden State's heyday where it's like, no lead is safe. I turned to Cowboy. How much time was left in the game?
It was 8.5 minutes.
8.5 minutes. I turned to you guys, and we had just been jamming on notes, watching the game, kind of tuned out by this point a little bit, like 30% tuned out. And I said to Reed, in about 5 minutes, watch, this game's going to be electric. And it turned into being like, if you're Roger Goodell, you're laughing yourself to sleep last night because our product is so much fucking better. I hate to do the shit on other leagues thing, but there's a lot that happened this year in sports. And I watched the U.S. Open this week and everything. And there's some great sports on TV. The Thunder winning the NBA Finals was great. But what do you remember since the last Super Bowl? What are you going to remember more than that opening night in the NFL? That to me is more memorable than a World Series game for an average fan walking around. And everybody likes football. It's back. That was theater. Just unbelievable. I want to give out my first mention before I turn it over to you guys, see what you thought about the game. hollow men and women are going to be the Buffalo Bills fans that watch the fucking fourth quarter from the parking lot and on their phones. That is, I mean, and Josh Allen, your quarterback, and I'm comfortable saying it because the quarterback said it. He said it twice after the game. You're supposed to hang in there until the last whistle, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm paraphrasing. But for the quarterback, he was almost pissed off about it. Like I'm sitting there, he's watching people leave and usher, and we're watching the all 22. I'm seeing it. I'm seeing when it starts to happen. You can see it thin because before every play, it shows you the score, the D&D, everything, and you're seeing people trickle out. And I think that pissed him off.
Yeah.
And I think that had at least a little bit to do with how he took the field at the end of the game.
You think they're sitting on the sideline, like him and Joe Brady, game planning, and like, what's our next best call? And he's looking around, he's like, these guys are unbelievable.
Yeah.
Like everything I've done here, like they're part of the team. Like,
it's the last game. It's the last opener in Orchard Park.
Yeah.
And it lived up to its billing. And not in a way, if you like defense, it did not.
No.
Yeah.
But and I'm King Rock Fight.
Yeah.
I love Rock
This isn't
Fight.
the Chris Long game of the year.
No.
There will be a 6-3 game at some point. That
No,
will be our game
I
of the
cannot
year.
wait. Listen, we'll get to Denver and Tennessee, and you can tell us all about that Rock Fight. That was like, they say World War III will be one with sticks and stones or whatever it was, whatever some smart guy said it at some point. And then that was kind of that Denver game last night. So yeah, I think there was a pause in there somewhere. But this game was totally different, and I thought like the Ravens were getting kind of whatever they wanted in the run game, and they were making shifts and adjustments, shift into I formation. They came out of the half and hit a screen where Stanley and Linderbaum are flat backing people, and there were moments like D-Hop's one-hander and Lamar's incredible scramble. Like, as you're a rusher, the rules of rush lanes don't apply to him. Like, Beau, what do we do in that situation? Joey Bosa is running him straight back towards the goalpost. Like, what do you do?
Dude, I watched that clip like 6 times. I think they said like next gen stats, it was like a 75-yard run in real time for Lamar Jackson. But it's like you get two of the best rushers in the NFL, Russo and Joey Bosa, and they can't even get this squirrely bastard down, and then he scampers for 19 yards. But in reality, it's an 80-yard run live. I mean, pretty incredible, man. You said it. This is what a fun Sunday night football game to start it off. My dick was hard for
Oh my goodness.
You just love to see it,
Jeez Louise.
But I had a good moment. You talked about mentions quickly. Chris, I want to get mine in. Did you see the video of Dalton Kincaid and Dawson Knox after the game?
Mr. Brightside.
That
Yeah.
was so cool. That's like the white boy anthem.
White people get that
after
song
a
so
moment
much.
like that.
It's like our Dumb and Dumber. You know how you don't like Dumb and Dumber, and you're like,
I don't.
Oh,
don't
sorry.
mix
I'm
my
not even
words
trying to.
up.
I'm just.
Don't get a mommy. I didn't say
Don't get a mommy.
I don't like Dumb and Dumber.
But do you like Mr. Brightside?
I just feel like you guys think Dumb and Dumber is like the funniest white movie.
Well, drunk
ever. I
white
don't see
people
At a wedding.
at a wedding or at a bar. I didn't know what that song was called.
I thought it was Sweet Caroline.
Yeah, I just knew the
I thought
lyrics.
that's the song.
Sweet Caroline's like Last Generation's Mr. Brightside.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, and the Bills have co-opted Mr. Brightside to the max, where, like, all my best memories, whether I know it or not, were set to Mr. Brightside.
Totally.
What?
I'm telling you, because it's like the end of the see, you didn't know it either. Yours too.
Did you play it at your wedding?
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
Hell yeah, he
Mr.
did. I remember that.
Anytime I hear Mr. Brightside, I am soaked in sweat on a dance floor at a wedding.
I think I had
Jumping
you up on
and
a chair.
yeah. Chris was just holding me up in the air.
That was
Yeah.
crazy. So, anyways, that's a great thing to bring up because they got that stadium rocking last night, and for the 30,000 people that were still there, that was a lot of fun. But I think what's crazy about this game was 9 possessions in the fourth quarter. People leaving the stadium, the whole thing, and it brings to mind some of the Harbaugh coaching decisions and just the Ravens' track record at this point, which is. Listen, last year, you talk about their 2-minute defense. There were 3 or 4 games that they lost to teams, at times inferior teams, because the game ended with 2-minute drill for the Ravens defense. As good as that defense got as the season went on, this has been a consistent theme for this group for years now. The Raiders game, they get the ball at the end of the game, go score. Cleveland Browns last year, same thing. They blew a big lead against the Browns. They beat Cincinnati, but Cincinnati went and tied it and went for a 2-point conversion to win, and they end up short. There were a lot of these moments, and so like Harbaugh having blown all of these fourth quarter leads. Y'all got the statistics on that? Can we bring that up? What's the deal with Harbaugh and blown leads? I don't want to undersell it.
It was some. What was that? Was that? It was like 8 games.
17 games.
Ravens have now lost 8
digits.
games. They've lost 8 games since 2021, in which they at one point had a win probability of at least 90%. That's 3 more than the next closest team. Shout out Ben Solak.
That's incredible. Yeah, Solak. Yeah.
And John Harbaugh has blown 17 double-digit second-half leads. That's the most by any coach since 1991.
Man, it's just an
second half is crazy.
It's an incredible thing because when you go ahead, Beau.
I was going to say the most surprising thing to me there is how strong the Ravens are at running the ball to blow these leads like
Bingo.
that. It's like just kind of ride your workhorse, Derrick Henry. You know what I mean? That's what really is killing me about that.
You got to think realistically. In a jam in 4 downs with Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry, you can almost every single time
ball forward for 30 feet
to get 10 yards,
yeah.
like in a span of 4 downs. Like just keep doing that.
and I get it. Nate. I'm watching those last 3 plays because really it comes down to I don't feel great after they miss after they miss a 2-point conversion. They need the ball back again. Mm-hmm. Okay, not to mention the drama. Where 4th and 2, with everything that went on in this game, like that 4th and 2 had to be one of the craziest plays. Not just of the young season. I think when you look back at it, like that's a wild play. But at that point in the game, people are leaving the stadium. It feels like garbage time. It's not garbage time at all. And the ball's tipped, I think, off Kincaid's hands into Coleman's hands, who played really well, by the way. That's a big plus for Buffalo. He's got great body control. I mean, we already know that. But last night he was really good. He sat Jair Alexander down so bad on that last reception there.
And here's the crazy thing with that, like
probably should have let him score.
Probably wonder if it would have been a different game.
I don't know if Coleman would have sat down.
He definitely. I don't think he was thinking that. Who knows?
Yeah,
but I was just thinking. I'm like, if he doesn't get tripped up and he scores that ball, like this game might be like even more exciting.
No, I know.
If Lamar gets the ball again.
And it ended up being there's 2 things people called into question. The one was like, hey, I saw some people complaining about this, like Harbaugh could have run the clock down a little bit longer before taking that last time out because there could be some procedural issues with the Bills trying to throw the ball out of bounds, and or maybe you force them into more of a fire drill situation, which, by the way, for a kicker to show up, Prater, who's like I thought he had like a good Little League birthday or something. Like he just turned 41. My man looks like weathered, bro. Like
yeah. That was my best flight. My best flight was they said
wait, what does that mean?
He looks older than me. Like when I start now I'm at that age where I see people and I'm like, oh yeah, that guy's an older man. And I'm like, I look him up and I'm like, damn, he's my fucking age. But Prater looks a little bit older.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I thought he had one of them Little League birthdays, dude. So it ends up being Prater, a guy who just shows up.
Red eye from Arizona on Thursday.
And tells Josh before the game, I'm going to give it everything I got tonight. She's like, yeah, swing your fucking leg.
Yeah.
Which is what he said after the game. And I love that about Matt Prater. He goes, all I have to do is swing my leg. And it's true. And that ball, I think, got tipped. But it's just a wild sequence, and the wildest thing to me was Ravens having 3 downs, getting whatever they wanted for 60 minutes in the run game, and not being able to finish. And they're running the same shit, okay? Like, they run lead on first down. They go jet sweep. You'd like to see maybe more quarterback read or that sort of thing. They're running this stuff into loaded boxes. And I think ultimately the questionable decision for me, it's twofold. Number one, why not put the ball in your best player's hands? If I'm defending the Ravens with 3 plays and I need the ball back, I'm praying they hand the ball off. As good as they are, I don't want the ball in Lamar's hands. Okay, so number one, you can be more aggressive. I don't think timeouts are as important. Making them spend timeouts with 150 to go in the game is not as important. Like the important thing is not giving the ball back to Josh. Point blank, period. And so I think on fourth down, there is a conversation to be had about going. I think some of the most analytics-minded people who sometimes we shoo, and we're like, yeah, come on, there's a football game going on here. Like, not everything's numbers, but, success rate, probability. I think in that situation, I wouldn't have been mad at Harbaugh. And if I'm on defense, I would be terrified if the Ravens come back out there and line up to go for it on fourth and short to medium.
Yep.
But I will say this, the Bills, as bad as they were on defense at times, this is just what they do. They scrap it together. They force turnovers. I thought Ed Oliver played fantastic. He's one of my favorite players.
Dog.
Underrated as
Dog.
fuck. I thought Bosa showed why he helps all around. Even though you gave up 40, I think you got better on the defensive line with Bosa there. The rookies got some valuable snaps, the two guys inside. Bosa forced a fumble. You see him make little plays like where he's closing on the backside of a play and he comes to balance, and he's smart with his angles. If he can stay healthy, he helps him in both phases. Safety play's still an issue. I think Milano's looking a little bit long in the tooth.
Yep.
That could be a week one thing. I love Milano. I lock my kids in a dark room and make them watch Matt Milano film. But, I'm worried my kids are going to come to me this week and go, Daddy, do we age? Because I think I saw Matt Milano age the other night a little bit. He might be fine, but it's just something I saw. And then, Dorian Strong hanging in there. Dropped flowers on the touchdown drive that made it 34-19. But, Ravens are a wagon. I think one of the things I'm worried about with the Ravens defense is the corner 2 position, right? We kind of took it for granted when Jair Alexander joined up, and we're like, oh, there's a fucking super team. Mm-hmm. I think there's Jair Alexander this year and then him like 3-4 years ago. There's a difference, and it happens fast. He finished the night with 2 really bad reps. And they didn't even get great play out of Josh Palmer until late in the game. You talk about the Bills, they got to feel pretty good. Mm-hmm. Coleman played well. Palmer, although I don't know why he quit on that one route. Overall, a pretty good game for that offense, and they stuck with the run game, which is what they're going to do. The screen game, Cook, yards after the catch, this was really encouraging for me that they were able to win this game in the shape they're in.
Yep.
Because it looked a lot like defensively the first game last year, but the difference is the offense is light years ahead. Mm-hmm. So I don't see these teams going anywhere. I'm a little bit concerned about, and maybe it's a tip of the cap to the Bills' offensive line, but the Ravens couldn't get that much pressure. And, or blitz 21% of the time. That might tick up if these guys can't get pressure. I think that's more about the Bills having a really good group. What else, guys?
Well, I got a worse flight, pretty obvious, but it's going to be the Ravens, Chris.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking terrible start to the year for them. You have to be disappointed. But yeah, what a game. It's not. I think you covered it pretty comprehensively, man. One thing, though, I do want to say, you said a little worried about the pass rush from the Ravens. I like Matabike. I thought he played pretty well. It's been a little. I think he tailed off at the end of last year, but I think he had a sack last night, and I think he'll be a double-digit sack guy this year. Just want to give him some love because I think he's a really good player.
Yeah, we're not burying the Ravens. They just, everything that they do and everything they're known for was on display last night.
How do we feel about, we saw the crowd get into it a little bit?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And I know Nate wanted to bring that, but how do we, like, a tap on the head from
the
Bills
I didn't see that until the very end.
And then a full shove.
And then a beer.
Somebody threw a water bottle in the
on
end
the
zone
run
when Derrick Henry's running. I hate that because, that to me is like, hey,
Bills Mafia, cut it out. Like, you're a cool fan base. You're like one of the cooler fan bases in the NFL that, like, if you're not part of Bills Mafia, you still, from afar, you look and you be like, you know what? You guys got a cool fan base. You jump through tables, you do crazy shit, but, like, don't start this. Like, the snowballs is one thing when it's snowing outside and it's part of the elements, but throwing beer and pushing
players
Lamar,
is fucking weird.
Touching
it's
Lamar,
weird.
that's
weird.
That's weird because no one wants anything to happen. Don't provoke Lamar Jackson to run into the stand.
They're going to have to put like a NASCAR barrier in front of these guys. They're gonna be
Yeah.
the first
Or-
fan base with like a NASCAR barrier.
Or we're gonna start having the stupid. We're gonna have the hockey glass. They're gonna
Yeah.
have the hockey plexiglass for the front row.
Yeah,
Yeah,
as an
yeah.
Eagles fan, Bills fans don't become an Eagles fan.
We do draw the line at dildos,
Don't-
right?
don't
Like
do it.
dildos is cute. Like dildos is funny. It's cute. Like if somebody steps on a dildo,
Oh, yeah, that was
I
them
think they're gonna
too?
be okay.
There was a dildo on
That
the
was
game. though,
Bengals
Chris.
Browns.
Oh, okay.
Bengals Browns game.
But
yeah.
the Bills
like
Mafia-
a bottle of something, you know,
Yeah.
Derrick Henry steps on that fucking thing in the end zone. I know for Bills fans, are like, we don't care. But like, come
That's
on.
what they were trying to do.
Show some respect. Also, Derrick Henry, by the way, I mean, like, brutal fumble. We talked about Ed Oliver forcing that fumble, but Derrick Henry, all in all, it's all systems go. He looks,
That's
he
the
doesn't look
worst.
31 years old.
That has to be the worst. Like to have a game like that and like
And then fumble at the end of the game.
Ultimately fumble and just be like, I'd never want to think about this game again.
That hurts. That hurts.
Jim Edwards in the chat said, Ravens spit first, though.
What happened?
No, he was just joking. That, like, the
Okay, yeah,
Ravens
got it.
did the thing first.
Dak did spit first, yeah.
So yeah, and then just one more point on the Bills defense,
Yeah.
Chris. You said this going into the season. We're not going to see the best version of that group until later in the year when they get Hoyt
Harrison.
back, Ogunjobi, Harrison. These rookies get more reps, so they'll improve as the season
They
goes
got
on.
multiple guys suspended. You just pointed out the whole offseason hinged on finding the second corner,
Right.
and the guy was hurt to start the season. So
And-
they got
and
to
the
be
third
feeling
one.
like,
Yeah.
and they got to be in the third. They got to be feeling like we're going to be okay.
Yep.
Because we're the Warriors, we're the Golden State Warriors. Okay, next game on the slate for me, as we're talking about teams that are really dangerous, I think there are times where I'm an analyst and I say something and I wince before I say it. And when I said, hey, Packers are going to win the North, and they didn't win the North yesterday. This is only 1 week. The playoffs does not start next week. That should contextualize anything we say today.
The North.
But the Packers, to me, watching them play yesterday, I sat there in my chair with a smirk on my face. Like, because, you know, I fielded some, hey, you got to be able to stop the run, right? Kenny Clark's gone, you know, like Mike is not going to really change things. He absolutely changed things. And I think when you're looking at this game, the biggest theme wasn't even Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons is a feather in their cap, which is why they made the move. I told you it was a declaration that we talk about public declarations in camp.
Yep.
Like trading for Sky Moore is a declaration, right?
Corey and Bennett.
Trading for Jacorian Bennett is a
Yeah,
declaration.
it's a sign of what's to come.
Yeah, it's an admission. You know, this is an admission. Like, hand up. Yeah, I'm Brian Gutekunst. Hand up. I think we're really fucking good. Guilty as charged.
Yeah.
And I am with him because this is a luxury. And I think the biggest thing for me was seeing the swing in physicality in a calendar year, which obviously we're going to talk about the Lions offense. But I think the front was ready. And I don't know if Halfley knew it for some reason this offseason. I don't know if what they saw last year on tape said it. I mean, I watched that second Lions-Packers game at length last week, and I thought, like, hey, the Packers are right there. I don't know what other people see watching it, but the Packers are right there. They didn't get the ball run up their ass. Kenny Clark made a transition from one front style to the next over the past couple of years. Like, a lot's changed. He's getting older. They ship him out of town, and those guys inside played really well yesterday. And I don't know if it's a product of that or it's a product of a reworked interior three, but it wasn't just the interior three. People are going to talk about Glasgow, Mahogany. They're going to talk about Ratledge. You should also be talking about the tackles as well, because I thought man-to-man, all of them, they got their ass kicked. And I thought Lucas Van Ness played his best game as a pro. You said it earlier.
Yeah.
I'm watching film. I said, Nolan, Lucas Van Ness. He goes, I think it was his best game as a pro. He played his ass off, beat Mahogany for a sack. Enigbare played great, and a lot of it was in the run front on head up on Sewell, you know, the big bad wolf. And the same thing with Rashawn Gary, who now is going to get some slide away from him, and he's going to be able to run through people's inside shoulder. You saw him posting up Decker. It was just one of those games where from the beginning I was like, damn, Like, if you're the Packers, you got to feel like everything we thought is confirmed this offseason. Not to mention the Lions are replacing 2 coordinators. You look at the Lions, their front looks human, their offense looks human. Jared Goff's average depth of target, I want to share that with the people at home right now, this looks like
4.2 yards. But yeah, as the chart here will show, he had 39 attempts on the day. Only 8 of them were beyond 5 yards from line of scrimmage.
And it wasn't all because of pressure all the time.
Right.
You know, when you play the Packers, they're gonna make late pre-snap rotations. They're gonna show you one picture and then give you another. And they're getting better at it. And I think that for Jared Goff, you add the rush to the equation. By the time he gets to his second look, third look, he's got pressure in his face. And even for him, like having the line of scrimmage reset, so to speak, 4 yards deep is a big difference. They set a flat wall in pass protection customarily. They're not doing that anymore. And it's one game, but 24 plays on 1st and 10, 2.69 yards per play compared to nearly 7 last year. Okay, that's fucking wild. Same thing in 2023, nearly 7 yards per play on 1st down, 12 yards on 8 first down carries, 44 yards rushing between the 2 backs. I think I have that right. Yeah. It seems I've read the stat 3 times. I can't believe it. And the stat about them being hit behind the line of scrimmage. Yeah. I don't like firing numbers at you, but these things.
Yeah, it was like mid fourth quarter. It was like 15 of their 21 runs.
I think it ended up 16 of 21 runs. Somebody gets hit in the backfield. Like, that's wild. There was a point backed up on the goal line where they just didn't block a D tackle right after they almost gave up a safety in pass pro. So I wouldn't say it's a 5-alarm fire. I think the Packers front's really good too. So I think this is about a concern for Morton and for the offense and for the front, but it's also about the Packers showing up to play. 1 for 4 in the red zone. They were a lot better than that last year.
Back to your depth real fast. After hitting a deep shot to Amon-Ra St. Brown in the first quarter, Goff wouldn't attempt another pass of 20-plus air yards until there were 4 minutes left in a 3-score game.
And the Packers are great at putting things, keeping things in front of you, making you earn it. And there was a lot of that yesterday. The Lions had the ball for like 30 straight minutes. And the Packers get the ball for a second, and they're kicking field goals. And the Packers are like, you know what, we're gonna take the top off the defense with Dobbs. And we haven't even started talking about the offense. I said this before the season. Jordan Love's healthy. Just he's gonna play better. And Golden didn't need a lot of fucking touches for this offense to look a lot better against a defense in Detroit that's supposed to be a lot better than they were the last time these two teams played. And Hutchinson, he's not there yet. Okay, like it's gonna take time. I think the first 5-6 games of last year before he got hurt was the best possible scenario for him. Like he had played a lot of guys that weren't really big time starter type tackles, and he was abusing them. And so we catapult him in the DPOY race. He gets hurt. It's going to take time. So people are going to be, at certain points this year, like, where's Hutch? I think it's going to take time. I think it's going to take time for him and Davenport as well. Davenport's coming off an injury.
A lot of memes going around just talking about Dan Campbell and him being more of a manager, and without great play callers, that it makes him as a whole just look way more normal than usual.
I think it takes time. I think it's going to take time. I'm not saying they're dead in the water. Listen, Kelvin Shepard's never called defense, and all of a sudden he's dealing with LaFleur's script. And this is a team last year that was like first in the league in first half point differential, at quietest kept. Now, if you're first in the league in point differential and you can run the football and your quarterback's healthy and your defense can rush the passer, enter Micah Parsons. Okay, Micah Parsons is the headliner, but he only played 29 snaps. And I say only because, on a full day's workload, I'd like to see him play 40, 50 snaps, okay? Because there's a lot of situations that he can set you up on early downs. I mean, I talked about the front, the way everybody played better. All the guys inside played really well. Quay Walker played fast. I thought he was noticeably fast. Cooper, playmaker, like now he's clean. And then Evan Williams picked Goff in the same spot as Nixon picked Goff last year. Last year it was the Hank route there, Hank concept, little sit route.
Curl flat.
The same fucking thing this year with Evan Williams just reading that top down and taking his candy. So I thought Micah was up and under, twitchy, early. Like Sewell Sewell is a premier tackle in the league. Don't get it twisted, but I said this in my thing last night. Sometimes I don't want to sound disrespectful, even though I'm complimenting somebody. I think he's somewhere in the top 3 to 4 tackles in the league. I think he's top 3, probably. But there is a delta in pass protection between him and a guy like Lane Johnson. So now as there's things like Protector of the Year, I don't want PFF grades thrown at me. Watch the tape and tell me who's the better pass protector, because I didn't see Micah beat Lane like that multiple times in a game, and it was right off the bat. And so that's going to be a tough matchup for them. He's so twitched up. They were inside. They lined him up in an A. They lined him up in a 3-tech. They ran like what we call like a nut stunt. Pause. Nut stunt, right? You remember that? So the
My
nose was
favorite
going to pick
stunt.
for. Yeah, you like that stunt. You like
stunt.
that.
Love a nut.
Did you see
Yeah.
Micah? Did you see Micah cross face like that,
Yeah.
dude?
Yeah.
It was like you can line him up anywhere. He's a chess piece.
Yeah.
And the sack for me, it encapsulates what he does when he's not forcing interceptions or, sacking the quarterback with just a clean win. He's going to run you down. He's one of the best finishers in the NFL. I liken him to a lion running down a gazelle. Mm-hmm. I liken him to, it's some Discovery Channel shit watching him. And when he dragged Jared Goff down, the top went off the place, and I'm paying attention to the sideline. I'm paying attention to his teammates. I'm listening to the crowd. They are so happy to have him there, and it's got to feel good for him because his owner in Dallas said, we don't need you. We're going to focus on stopping the run. And I think fans also eventually soured on Micah in Dallas. And for those of you who did, this is what you're missing. And you can find some bodies inside to stop the run, but you're not going to be able to find another one of those guys with ease.
Nope.
And the on the sideline, dude, guys are like this.
Everyone's
They got their hands raised in the air.
Yeah.
They're hyped. They're pointing at Micah. It felt like everything the Packers wanted was realized yesterday. It's just 1 week, but they're a really good fucking football team.
Speaking of just 1 week, there's a few stats going around about golf, and I want to read one for you.
Yeah, hit me.
And just see how you feel about it. Golf is 3-18-1 without Ben Johnson or Sean McVay calling the plays. Are you overreacting about that, or are you trying to read more into that?
I want to give him a chance. He's made a lot of plays in the NFL.
Yeah,
I wanna
wait
give
till
him a
like
chance.
week 4 or 5.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, this new Lions team obviously is a tough loss to a division rival, everything like that. They did not look very sharp. Let's give them a couple weeks to settle in and see what we're getting here. That's kind of what I'm thinking there, Facts.
I think the Lions are still a playoff team for sure. We're not,
Yeah.
and I think I think Lions fans won't want to hear anything less than they can still compete for the division, and sure they can. But the Packers are kind of a wagon.
Yeah.
Like you look at their roster, they are big and physical. I told you when we went to camp last year and went to Eagles camp and then went to some other camps, I was like, damn, the Eagles are really built different. Like they're just massive. The Packers are big too. They are big and physical. And I think they found something with Halfley. They got one of the best play callers in the game offensively. And there are people, there's a reason dudes on ESPN who take their job seriously are answering questions like, whose league is it in 5 years? And the answer is Jordan Love. Like, there are reasons people believe that. It might not be everybody brave enough to say it, and I'm not willing to stick my nuts on the table yet and say exactly that. But I think he's a franchise quarterback, and I think his best football is ahead of him. I think last year wasn't very good.
Yeah.
He was hurt. So,
Yeah, and you got Chris, Nate, Beau, you guys know better than anybody. You don't want to overreact to week 1. You know the ebbs and flows of a long season, but to that point, like just the Packers, what you loved about that game yesterday was them kind of beating the Lions with their brand of football.
yep.
Like
Yeah, exactly.
more
Yeah.
physical team. They jumped the Lions with an early 2-touchdown lead.
Yep.
I mean, think about last season. It's always Lions out in the lead, and then they're running the football. They dictated terms of battle, and then they're also the more explosive offense. Twice as many explosive plays in that game. You don't see that too often against
And you
Detroit.
should see it. I mean, you should definitely see more explosives this year from Jordan Love and company. So
Go, Pat, go.
they're dangerous. We said it. We're not the only ones who said it, but we said it.
Super Bowl pick, baby.
There you go.
And
Packers versus
versus the The Patriots. But we got the Packers in there. I picked the Packers to win.
We can repick week
No,
one.
only week
I
one. Yeah,
picked
it's only
them
week
to
one.
win, so
Okay.
I still feel good.
So
Still
we're
win.
good.
Either way, it doesn't matter who
Okay.
they play against. They're still going to beat them.
Now, as we work down the list of dangerous teams in the NFL, like we can't leave out two teams that were in the Super Bowl last year, including our Philadelphia Eagles, the Super Bowl winners from last year. They started the season. We're kind of doing a little rewind here. Thursday and Friday night, we saw those two teams play, and I wouldn't say they were mirror image situations, but like there were two teams that didn't apparently get better in week one. It's not like it was apparent that they gained ground in week one. And they were playing divisional rivals that, they kind of feel like they should be beating. Now, I don't know if the Kansas City Chiefs have enough evidence, in this current form as to why they would think that after seeing Friday night, but the Eagles definitely are a better team than the Cowboys. I think the question is, do y'all have concerns about either of those teams? Like, do you have concerns enough to think that either of those teams will take a step back? I think Kansas City should be more worried than the Eagles. It's easy for me there.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one, Chris. I'm not quite as concerned about the Eagles just because of the depth that they have. I'm more concerned about Kansas City than Philadelphia. The Eagles are just more talented, like their roster. I think my only real concern for the Eagles is depth. Like defensive line depth was a little bit of a concern last week, just the way that unfolded. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
With Jalen getting the boot
early.
But I'd be way more worried about KC. I just don't feel like they have their guys that are making plays right now. And then Worthy's going to be hurt for a little bit here. It looks like that's where my concern would be. Them getting their playmakers going in Kansas City, because it did not feel like they were cooking on Friday night the way they do at the end of the year.
You got any concerns, Nate?
Yeah, to piggyback on what Bo just said, I just feel like KC Worthy is someone that you would think is an intricate part of their offense, and a lot of things were probably built around or even packages around him. And to fill that void for someone as fast as him, I feel like it would be a couple of guys that would have to. And do they have that type of personnel right now? I'm not sure. And it's something where, everyone sees it, and you're like, the easy, low-hanging fruit is, oh, go get Tariq. He's upset in Miami right now. Like, look at him. Like, go get him.
The cap is somewhat real, though.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. They got like $5 million. They can't go.
They got
get Tyree.
$2.3 million in cap space.
2.3.
Which to me, on its head, like if neither team could make a move, the Eagles or the Chiefs, I still feel better about the Eagles. But here's the thing: the Eagles have already made a move. They don't wait. Like Howie doesn't wait. Like they went and got Zadarius Smith, which, if I was Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes, just to play chess in conference, I might have picked up Zadarius Smith. Mm-hmm. And maybe they were more bullish on their pass rush. I don't know. Maybe it was something interpersonal, because it kind of was a thing where Dan was saying, hey, we don't need him. And then Zadarius Smith was pissed off, through back channel. I heard that. And he was like, I'm taking that personally. And so you see he rushes to sign with the Eagles. Howie's going to make another move, and it might be at corner. And, the worries I have about the Eagles, are in the secondary, rush, and coverage. Okay, so it's rush up front, which I think can improve. We saw that as evidenced by last year, where coming out of the Atlanta game, you're like, damn, they can't stop anything. And the rush is non-existent. Well, the coverage factors into that. And I also think Uche played really well. I think, low-key, Uche played really well. So you got a guy there. Jalen Carter, if he's not going to be hawk tooing on people's chests pregame, then you've got a fantastic player out there that kind of he's the straw that serves the drink up front. But we did have concerns about depth behind, Milton Williams. His depth was Ajomo. Who's Ajomo's depth this year? So next man up becomes a little harder. Sweat and BG factoring in, leaving in the run game and in pass rush, leadership, the whole thing. Nolan Smith can rush. Jalen can rush. You think Ajomo can rush, but the depth piece. Bo, what do you think about the D-line depth on the Eagles?
Like I was saying, I think it's a little bit of a concern, especially with, as you so aptly put it, Jalen Carter hawk-tooing on Dak's chest. Jordan Davis played 50 out of 56 snaps on Thursday night.
Looks lean.
I think Jordan is he does look lean. He's a massive individual, and he is, He's a nose guard. Like, he should not be playing 50 to 56 snaps. Jalen should be occupying those snaps. And Jalen is a beast. He's a fucking dog. He's an incredible football player. If he can just get out of his own way, he will be, a defensive player of the year at some point in his career. If he can't, then he'll have like 2 or 3 more years. He's incredible. He needs to just fucking make smart decisions and not put his team in a bad place.
He has to realize the power he wields.
Yes.
He has to realize.
Don't get me wrong. Like, it's such a fine line. You know how it is when you're emotional and you play hard and you kind of, you use that fuel, but it's like, let's do that all within reason. Okay.
Jalen Carter. Ooh, shit. Jalen Carter. Ooh, spit.
I'm working the soundboard already, but like, everybody gets better when he's on the field. He's got to be on the field. Like I said in preseason, if Jalen Carter can play like Chris Jones, like if he can be their Chris Jones, they'll be fine. But he's got to be on the field. And then at corner, like Adoree Jackson was barbecue chicken early. And I don't mean any disrespect because I wouldn't want to be a corner in the NFL. Like there's nowhere to hide. Like you can be a rotational defensive lineman and there's places to hide. There's nowhere to hide if you're a corner. So Bennett's got to play. And, you probably think Bennett's better than Jackson coming out of that night. So, they'll work things around. Maybe Makuba maybe he's got some flexibility from where he can line up.
Yep.
But I thought Jahad Campbell looks like a pro. I don't think the offense was challenged. I have concerns about interior offensive line depth a little bit. Like if Dickerson gets hurt, it's not a fun picture. It's not what you're used to seeing. Yeah. With the Chiefs, man, I have a lot more concerns just because, and I think, and we said this preseason, the offense is going to be better in 2 months. In 2 months, when it matters, the Chiefs' offense is going to be good because at that point, Rashee Rice will be back. You don't have a screen game that you can hang your hat on right now. You lose your gadget guy. They were all fucked up. They run into each other on crossers. Like that's not a Kansas City Chiefs thing to do. I look at that offense. They're not great running the ball right now. That's something they got to get better at. But the one thing is the king on your chessboard is Patrick Mahomes, or maybe it's Patrick Mahomes. I can't remember if the queen's more important. I don't want to, So
calling Patty Mahomes a queen?
He's royal. He's royalty. But the point is, if he's got a clean pocket, he can make magic work. He hasn't had a clean pocket in a while, and I think Josh Simmons is the key to that. There were times the other day where I saw the pocket really clean, and Kingsley's going to be a work of he's going to be a work in progress inside. But I think Mahomes, he was on the Mahomes magic was on full display at multiple points the other night. He'll be fine. The pocket's going to be better. They will be better as the year goes on. The defense is what worries me, and they're trying different combinations out in the secondary, but like. I don't think they have the horses outside Chris Jones. You might say, hey, that's the case every year. But the Chargers got better. The Broncos got better. The Raiders' offense got better.
Yeah, they did.
So in division, it's not going to be as easy. And winning one-score games, you can already see is not as easy for this group. And so Chris Jones has got to do a lot of, he's got to do a lot of heavy lifting for this group.
So if you were
Can I give you my best seat here real quick?
Yeah, best
Go
seat.
ahead,
and then
best seat. Is that quarterback in LA. He's got a nice little win on Friday night down in Brazil and then goes back and takes his superstar girlfriend Madison Beer out on a date. It's a nice seat.
And Joe Alt
good
joined.
seat.
He had security too. Joe Alt showed up to that date.
Yeah, that's good to
hanging
have.
out.
Yeah, one of your hog mollies
Good
with you.
seat.
We'll talk about the Chargers in a second because I want to give them some props.
I was going to ask you if you think that KC, if you're a Kansas City fan, would you be optimistic about this year? Or would you be worried because
their standard's so high, but like if you know ball, they're going to be better offensively. Like at some point this year, they're going to be better than they were last year offensively. And so like the question is, what kind of magic can Spags work? They can't make a bunch of moves. They got to work with what they got outside.
And you're saying they're going to be better with or without Xavier Worthy?
If Worthy doesn't come back, they'll still be better than they are right now. I mean, because Rashee Rice is going to come back. He's so central to what they do.
Yep.
I also think it's going to be a burn the ships kind of year with Travis Kelce. Like in the past, they've spelled him as the year going. This is it. This is the last dance. So no, I mean it is. I think he's done. I mean, I don't think physically. I'm just saying he might want to retire.
Yeah.
And so I don't think he would go for like, hey, we're gonna limited usage. Like they're gonna have to find a way to win. And I think he's going to be a big part of it. So I think the one thing I want to talk about was, and you as a D lineman, both of us former D linemen, the way that game ended with Chris Jones taking the up and under. I wanted to point this out.
Selfish.
I disagree.
If he unless he made a cover me call or he said something to the linebackers, which the after fact when they're showing the video and some of the defenders mouthing just do your job, seeing that is the reason why it makes me feel like he made a selfish play. But I understand it in the sense that, if you make that sack, no harm, no foul, you're the hero, everyone's excited. But when you don't, and it's something as egregious as that, and it's like, dude, if you're just playing your contained job,
okay,
he doesn't get a first
Here's the
down.
thing I take issue with. The adjective selfish.
Okay.
I don't think it's a smart play.
Yeah.
I think in the moment he's sitting there on 3rd and 14 or whatever it is, like, man, we can't get home, and they're actually like they're gashing us a little bit. Like, we need to manufacture rush. And I almost feel like Herbert baited him into making that move. And Pipkins is not a great setter anyways, but I don't want to give him too much credit. But the overset there, inviting the inside move with a quarterback who's big and can run and throw on the run, like, that's what we're getting yelled at about. The only thing I would say is this. If I'm a 3 technique in this defense, my job is whatever Chris Jones wants me to do.
Absolutely.
So what my job is, I'm not going to heavy up. They need to balance. Okay, we're looking at the play right now. The guy who gets the slide to his side inside needs to balance up,
Absolutely.
right? Because he's got the slide. You're not going to win. You go balance up over the center, and you anchor the middle of the pocket. The 3 technique to Jones' side, he needs to play off of Jones. Now, the caveat here that makes it unforgivable, and Chris Jones is even getting yelled at about this, is you are in man coverage behind. And when you have man coverage behind you as a rusher, you need to know the situation and you need to know the backs are turned. And if everybody has zone eyes, you can get away with
That's
this.
different. Yep.
So at first glance, like, I think people
maybe let me like not say selfish. I'm saying it in the eyes of I think what a coach is gonna say. He's gonna say, maybe look at it and be like, you're being selfish because realistically, like, are you doing your job? Or it looks like someone didn't do their job.
You're not because you need to know the coverage behind you. And I think in that situation, Chris put his hand in the dirt and was like, I'm going to win this for my team.
Absolutely.
Not in like a selfish way, like I need my numbers or anything. Like, he just wants to win. Now the problem here is Dana he stumbles and he's not fast enough and he got too heavy on the but above all else, when you have man coverage behind you can't take that up and under.
Bro, that slide would make
another point too
so bad.
I think he's to the quarterback's throwing arm here too, which makes it equally tough. Quarterback's always going to want to escape over that way. But like, to your point, Chris, exactly what you said, like, Chris Jones is the guy on that defense. He's an unbelievable rusher. He's out there playing 5 technique, rushing the edge. Let's be honest, he's more of an interior guy, body frame wise.
Yeah.
But I think you just need to know, like, you need to balance trying to be that guy and make the play like he's done his whole career with the situation in the moment. And I think he won it so fast that just Herbert was able to feel it and instantly escape the pocket.
Which makes me wonder if they invited it a little
They
bit.
definitely did. I just feel like when he jumped inside, that tackle was like, gotcha.
I'm sure Pipkins, even if Pipkins got beat, he's going to be like, I was a little gamesmanship there. I want to
Chris Jones, in the future, whether your D tackle, your 3 technique is going to be mad or not, just be like, automatic cover me, bro.
Well, I think the point is everybody's got to be on the same page. Know the coverage behind you and know the situation of the game. Now, I'll say this. The Chargers look like a team that had been waiting to play the Chiefs all fucking summer. And I didn't put them in the playoffs. I don't know what I'm going to see from the Chargers yet. I'd be happy to be wrong because watching this show before, I've caped for Justin Herbert right up until last year at the end of the season where I said, hey, listen, I can't protect Justin Herbert from the haters anymore because the results ultimately have to be better. But my read on this team this year is if they don't go, it ain't going to be because of Justin Herbert. Now, everything I saw outside of Justin Herbert was really fucking encouraging. Mm-hmm. So what do you do when you play the Chiefs? Well, last year they couldn't run the ball. Chiefs, backers, firing downhill, right? And it's a Greg Roman offense. So you figure we got to be able to run the football. You go out and get 500 pounds worth of running backs. And then on top of that, the wrinkle that I thought was really cool in the game the other night was like, hey, your best player is your quarterback. Maybe lead with the pass. to set up the run. And I thought they did a great job with that, with play action. I thought Quentin Johnson played really well, red zone touches, deep crossers. Like, he is tough to – that stride, play to his strength. Give him a full head of steam and see if guys can keep up with him. I thought he was great. And, defense, man, they scrapped. They just scrapped. And so I don't want to give the full breakdown here because it was days ago. But I will say this: the Chargers earned a lot of respect, mine included, in that game the other night, and I think people should take
Chris,
notice.
The Chargers.
Yeah, we're talking about these early season week 1 contenders, right?
Yeah.
Packers look good. Eagles obviously defending champs. Kansas City perennial, powerhouse. Would you put the Chargers in that category yet, based on their week 1 performance, or no?
In the elite category, the first tier of teams in the NFL.
Yeah,
I think I got to see more, but they are potentially. I was worried about Rashawn Slater. That was like the whole thing. Like I had my button on the AFC West, like the division, and then Rashawn got hurt, and I got lazy. I thought like
there's a lot
it's
of
just gonna be hard.
parallels. Yeah, I just think if you're looking at the Packers and like they've seemed so poised and ready for the last couple of years with a young quarterback with a big arm, a lot of talent.
Good point.
I feel like there's some comparisons that can be made. With the Packers and the Chargers, like it feels like these are two teams that are just a bite away. Like they're so close to being in that top tier, and they haven't been. And I feel like they might be ready here.
So we're done with the first hour of the show. I got to do this ad read, guys. We got to give some love to BetMGM. If you haven't signed up for BetMGM yet, use bonus code Greenlight, and you will get up to a $1,500 first bet offer on your first wager with BetMGM. Just download the BetMGM app and sign up using bonus code Greenlight. Deposit at least $10 and place your first wager on any game. If that bet loses, you will receive up to $1,500 in bonus bets when using bonus code Greenlight at sign up. Then get access to second chance promos, odds boost tokens, same game parlays, BetMGM original bets, and so much more. BetMGM, make it legendary. There's an easy way to make it legendary. Just tell your boy right now. The heater continues. All right. I don't mind taking money from my sponsors in this scenario. I'm rooting for the people, not my sponsors. And I love my sponsors and everything, but I want you to kick their fucking ass. I'm just telling you. And gamble with care. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't just bet the whole board. Okay? So we're an hour in. We're going to continue with some of the most dangerous teams, in my opinion, in the league. We can't talk about dangerous teams without the Rams. Okay, and here's another thing. It's another one of those prognostications that's hard to make when Matt Stafford's in an Airstream getting mystery work done to his back. And he's had an epidural, and they've got some special lumbar spine RV in the parking lot. I'm not sure what to make of that at this age, but if yesterday is any indication, that's as impressive an offensive performance from a team and a quarterback when you score 14 points as I think you could see in week 1. Mm-hmm. Like they're so well coached. They have a way of doing things. They can run the football. They've got an ultra tough guy in Puka Nacua who looked as fucked up as anybody I've ever seen in a helmet.
He looked
after
like,
that.
what do we say? It looked like Revolutionary War.
Yeah, it looked like
headband.
It looked like it looked like the British were coming and he got hit with one of those musket balls that was a flesh wound, right? Like he got shot in the head and they just bandaged him up. So it was gutsy, man, and you knew it was going to have to be gutsy because that fucking Texans defense, the secondary, the rush. I call the secondary now the tax men because they're gonna tax you. Taxation without representation. That's what was going on. That's why Puka looked like that.
He paid the tax.
He was paying the tax.
Yeah.
Is the thing with the T.
Yeah.
You guys know. And so, anyways, I look at this offense. You add Devontae Adams. The offensive line held up pretty well. Larry Jackson didn't have a lot of practice time ahead of the season. I thought Matt Stafford looked like Matt Stafford, and that's a scary thing for the rest of the league. And what I think is fun, and by the way, he hit 60,000 passing yards yesterday. Wow. Big moment for him. Whittington had 2 really good plays wiped out by penalties. You paid Tutu Atwell $10 million. That's like a hot topic among Rams fans. Lopsided day for Kyron Williams. He got the ball a lot. Corum, not so much. the Rams are the Rams, okay? And us not spending all day on them is not disrespect. If Matt Stafford's healthy, they're one of the best teams in the NFC. If he's not, I don't know. I know people tell me Jimmy Garoppolo's waiting in the wings, but it's just not the same, okay? That guy is special. He can still spin the football with the best of them. The Texans, on the other hand, is a team that I'm really bullish on, but yesterday, if we're going off of 1 week, and yes, they are facing the Rams defensive line and Chris Shula, and that's a group that equal parts can just put their hand in the dirt and rush for and kick your fucking ass. And they can also game you up front. The sim pressures, exotic looks that C.J. Stroud talked about after the game. That is a tough test for an offensive line that is the center of Houston's football universe. All their hopes and dreams, a top 3 defense, I think a franchise quarterback, and that's it at this point, rest on the offensive line, making all the pieces that aren't so great around them better and giving the receivers time to develop. Until Joe Mixon gets back, they can't run the football right now. 8 penalties for the offensive line alone, 11 for the team for 80 yards. They kind of look like the same team. Maybe the defense is better. They look like the same team, and that's concerning. It's only week 1. The receivers, nobody got off. They couldn't really run the football. They gave up 3 sacks. The anchors are concerning outside. I know it was Jared Verse. I know it's young. I know those guys can play. But the anchors at tackle really concern me. Remember Armstead said Verse kind of retired him? Okay? Well, Young and company kind of baptized Ursery, who, by the way, and I'm working my soundboard here, I think I have a baptism sounder from the motion picture Nacho Libre. If I could find that, I'll roll it. But the point is, it's kind of like the life-death cycle in the NFL. The death end of this cycle was Armstead. The baptism yesterday was Ursery and company, and I thought Young played great. Like, people make a big deal about Jared Verse, and they should, but Young's a hell of a rusher. He won with the chop club. He won with power. I think Fisk is a fantastic player. Timely edge pressures from Shula.
How come you have not been baptized?
There you go. And the second half struggles, man. Like that's a Houston football team. And that's not a good thing, right? Like the team last year, they struggled in the second half. They committed a lot of penalties, and the offensive line really stunk. And they stunk yesterday.
So with seeing that,
Yeah.
you're saying like it's familiar to last year. What did they do in the offseason to potentially help CJ this year?
Well, what they did is they hired a new offensive line coach. They shipped Tunsil away, which they thought would be a good thing because, penalties, pre-snap penalties, like maybe the group wasn't playing together. They draft Ursery. They reshuffled the line a little bit, but they had to reshuffle it again yesterday because they had injuries.
Yeah.
Ingram's out.
Ingram's out, and then Cam Robinson goes down for a little bit, and then the center Jake Andrews leaves the game. So it was shuffled the whole time.
And I will say, like Nick Caley, he's the offensive coordinator, spent time in New England, spent time with the Rams. When you are giving C.J. Stroud a lot of freedom at the line of scrimmage and doing more checks, like that, eventually that's gonna take some time.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to give them some grace. But I thought C.J. Stroud's quote after the game was indicative of like kind of the way they play. We could have practiced better. And that's the leadership I'm looking for from a quarterback. Like, he wasn't discouraged, but he was kind of like, hey, we didn't practice well enough. We got what we deserved today. They miss Mixon, obviously. They don't have a ton of cap space. They can't go out and make a move. You got a running back who's been in the league almost a decade's only fumbled once, and with the game on the line, fumbles again. And I will say this, Landman play that was an all-pro play. Mm-hmm. And so the Rams continue to be one of the best coached teams in the league. I thought Kobe Durant had one of the best picks of the young season. And so the Rams, I mean, the only thing that I could see slowing them down a little bit, obviously Stafford's injury. And then defensively, when you play some better offensive lines that can kind of negate your strength, and the edge guys have to both play over 50 snaps a game, who are your depth pieces outside? Because that's a heavy load to kind of shoulder for those guys. But I thought the Rams looked fantastic, and Houston looked like more of the same.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and to your question about what they can do to help Stroud, Nate, I think what makes it so tough is until they can figure out how to run the ball better, it's like we were watching back through that game, and it's a lot of drop back passing. They can't pick up the games. I'm like, maybe you can get into more play action stuff. But like what Chris said, at this point in his career, I don't think anybody's necessarily afraid of Nick Chubb. And then, on the other side of that, it's like, do you become like an air raid situation where you're throwing the ball 60 times? That would be a tough.
And he's playing point guard.
Right.
And
it might be the best path forward. I mean,
we'll see. Something just breaking news.
So the fan in the Bills game who tapped DeAndre Hopkins on the helmet and got shoved by Lamar Jackson is now banned from the Bills and NFL stadiums
for life.
For life.
Fuck yeah, dude.
They had to do that. And that sucks for you as a fan that you couldn't.
That's better on the couch.
Yeah, that you couldn't contain yourself. Hell no, it's not. Because I feel like if you're a fan and if you have those good enough seats, you probably couldn't afford to buy tickets at a high price, and now you're going to be, I don't know, at your favorite bar in Buffalo, eating buffalo wings.
Which shouldn't sound too bad. Remember the bar with Bar Bill?
Bar Bill, baby.
Bar Bill Tavern.
And then also shout out to the staff. They were awesome at the Jim Kelly bar. What was the Jim Kelly restaurant?
It was a lovely Italian joint.
Ilio's.
Yeah.
Everybody was so cool. Mm-hmm. Everybody was so cool. We had a great bartender. It was just a great day to be a Buffalo fan.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got the next team that I want to shout out as being like kind of an NFC elite, and I had picked them to go to the Super Bowl, throwing darts preseason, the whole thing. But I do think they're in this class now. The Packers look really good. The other team that they actually match up with, well historically, is the Eagles, which is part of the reason I was like, man, if the Eagles aren't as good and the Bucs get better, which I think they got better, that's a tough matchup. I think the Bucs showed yesterday that they did take a step forward, and I know it wasn't pretty. But when you're playing Atlanta, and Atlanta fucking they ran you up and down the field last year. A lot of it was because of the middle of the field, and I think some people didn't pay close enough attention to this Bucs offseason or why they didn't play well last year. They had a ton of injuries. One of them being the quarterback of their defense, Antoine Winfield, who's fantastic. He's out. Dennis is out. Dennis is really rangy. I know that people are saying he dropped Bijan Robinson. He was the whole player. It was a dump down. Bijan Robinson, that's a tough tackle for Fred Warner. Okay, so I think when Todd Bowles, I told you how fucking giddy he was this offseason watching his press conferences. They got 2-man corners. One of them didn't play yesterday, Morrison, so Jamel Dean's out there. But the other one, Parrish, who's slot corner, he played really well. I mean, in the bits and pieces I saw, I mean, he knocked a play down on the perimeter that knocked him out of field goal range, that sort of thing. But the bottom line is the Bucs played far from perfect. They were on the road. They're playing a hot team in Atlanta. And at the end of the day, they find a way to win. And they got jumped in the process, too. They spent most of the fucking first half dealing with the shadow of their own goal line, 3 and out, that sort of thing. But I thought it was a really impressive performance. And they could, I know Atlanta fans are saying, we missed the field goal. We should have won the game. Cade Otton's fucking naked, dude. If he just turns his head back towards Baker Mayfield, they're going to score there and go up 2 scores late in the game. They also missed an extra point. I think McLaughlin missed a field goal as well. So this was a game where the Bucs did not play perfect, but they made the plays defensively when it absolutely mattered. But what do you think about your Bucs?
Well, first of all, that fucking ball from Baker to Buka was an absolute dime.
Piss missile.
You know what I'm talking about? That was such a pretty shot. And I love Baker. He's just one of those guys who wears his heart on his sleeve, and I think he perfectly encapsulates what the Bucs are trying to do. One thing I would have liked to see a little bit better from, my old team, the Buccaneers, was a little bit better rushing attack. That had been something in 2024, 2023 that 2024 was great. 2023 was terrible. Hoping they could start out. I mean, they had 101 yards rushing. I want to get Bucky Irving going a little bit more. He only had 37 yards. I think he's incredibly talented. Also, Sean Tucker, I think, is really underrated. Rashad White is good, too. Would have liked to have seen them settle in a little bit more in the run game, but I think you said it, man. The Falcons were better than I thought they'd be. It's turned into a little bit more of a battle, but ultimately the Bucs came away with it, and 1-0 against a division rival so far in 2025, so it's hard to be upset with that. My hollow man is predictably Koo. Tough. It was like a 44-yarder, something like that. It's like, these fucking kickers, man. Something about the kickers yesterday.
No, but you want to know the worst thing about that
for one guy who had a stud performance? What was that, Fax?
Is that they iced him and he missed the the
ice.
one
The ice.
before you got iced
He
and
missed
you
them
got
both.
saved
He missed them both.
because they called a timeout,
Yeah.
and then you line back up and you miss it again.
Even worse, too, the
That-
second time.
That's what I mean. Like,
Yeah.
even worse, you missed the second one. That's bad.
But I will say this, Bo, I know that the run game wasn't as good, but I wanted to shout out the offensive line because it's like they had this lineup in their back pocket, which, again, like I'm always so impressed by the Bucs, like the way they draft. You know, you talked about the guys defensively. Ibuka is a stud yesterday. And, you know, like you have an embarrassment of riches outside, albeit not a healthy group. They had to spend time without them last year. They go out and get Ibuka for the future and for depth right now.
Godwin's not healthy yet, too.
No, Godwin's not healthy. McMillan. So he got the ball in big situations. But that offensive line, like we thought it was going to be Charlie Heck. They put Graham Barton out at left tackle. They put Michael Jordan at guard,
Future Hall
Bredesen
of
at
Fame.
center, future Hall of
Barton.
Famer, Graham Barton,
Yeah.
Duke stud. So and Baker was admittedly a little bit off. Like he missed some throws. Like so I expect him to be better, including that first Ibuka touchdown, which is like a total fucking danger bird. That thing was like through three people. The moments defensively that I was really impressed by. Number one, when you get down in the NFL in an opener and a dome stadium, rocking place, they've been waiting to cheer on the Falcons all year. The top might have came off the place if they went up 14-3 in the second quarter, and they were at that moment where I think it was second and long, and Atlanta gets it to 3rd and 1. They rush up to the line of scrimmage to take a shot, which I'm not crazy about, right? Like I'd rather just like convert the first down and let's go again. Okay, I know you're in the shot zone a little bit. You're on the fringe, that sort of thing. But at that point, I think a first down works. Now, they line up on 4th down. They don't put Algier in the game. They give Robinson the ball on like an insert play, and Vita Vea blows it up. So that to me was like number one, big stand for them. And then the second one for me was we were waiting to see what Hassan Reddick looked like. Mm-hmm. And I don't need him to be like a DPOY candidate. I just need him to show up with a big play or a pressure or a sack every game. And in the red zone, after Bijan hit him for like 23 without Reddick or Diaby on the field on 3rd down, it's 17-13 Tampa, I think. And at that point,
17-10 at that point.
17-10 at that point. So they're trying to tie the ball game up. And he goes up and under and comes up with a sack. And that to me is like that's the moment where you're starting to see all the things the Bucs did pay off in really subtle ways during this football game. And so like the last one would be Winfield separating the ball from Casey Washington on the last possession of the game. But the final sequence was crazy, man. That was a great game. You know, first down Bucs on the 11-yard line with 5 to go, 9 plays, 4th down twice, 2 conversions. Penix was great. And you know, that's an 18-play, 91-yard drive. If you're an Atlanta fan, there's a lot to be excited about. Ulbricht's got these guys playing a lot more aggressive. You know, they're manning up more. They're playing vertical behind the line of scrimmage. And I didn't get a close look at the rushers, but I think they'll be better defensively this year. I thought Diablo really helped them in the pass and the run game. So that final sequence was crazy. And obviously they don't have Drake London for the last possession. But this is going to be a fun game the second time they play as well. I think this is Atlanta's going to be a real cagey team this year. They got better.
You think the Bucs are in the driver's seat in the NFC South?
Well, that was a big hurdle to clear to at least split the series with Atlanta. I think the Bucs are a better football team. In the NFC, I think the class of the NFC is combining my preseason thoughts with Week 1. It's in no particular order. The Eagles, the Packers, and the Bucs, and I think you could throw the Lions in there. I think we'll see about the Vikings, the Commanders, who maybe we should go to the Commanders right now. I haven't watched that game. I'm just gonna be honest. I can only watch 12 games in 8 hours. But what did you think about seeing the Commanders' offense yesterday, Nolan?
So what I love.
Speak on that.
Yeah, Bo, you got it as well.
Sorry, go ahead, no.
Yeah. No. You guys can.
Well, no, I just wanted to talk about Dable quick
Rock,
because
paper,
I think
scissors.
it's so interesting how you can already see all the coaching politics come into play in Week 1. You just get a sense that, you know, Dabes is doing the whole thing where he's going with the vet Russell Wilson, and I know they announced him for next week too. Obviously, they have Jackson Dart and my boy Jay Boo waiting in the wings. And I just can see this whole thing unfold where Russell continues to be exactly the player that he is in this stage in his career, and they're going to throw in Jackson Dart maybe before their O-line is fully healthy, fully ready. And sometimes that can invigorate an offense. And then, Dave's kind of gives himself a little bit more breathing room on that hot seat. That's kind of what I think is the most interesting thing here. I don't think the Giants are, that good, especially offensively. And it's just so funny to see a coach on the hot seat kind of flounder and do whatever he can politically to buy himself some extra time. That's all I want to say about that situation, Nolan. If you want to speak to more of the X's and O's, you can. But you see the same thing, rinse and repeat every year with coaching staffs on the hot seat and what they do to kind of keep clawing their way onto the, into their head coaching role. And it's just funny to watch.
And then outside looking in, you having a little screaming match battle with your number one wide receiver, and whether he's seen it or not, you kind of trying to clear the whole thing up, trying to get a dap up or a high five for him, and whether he's seen it or not, or he ignored you, just the optics of it, it just looked like guys are maybe fed up with Dable as a coach, and that didn't look good.
It didn't look good. I think if people take a beat and they're like, hey, tempers are flaring, it's an NFL game, and Neighbors, who's probably had a lot of frustration in his young career having to deal with the quarterback play out there. I mean, this to me is a classic, hey, you high five and he looks down. And then I think what Dable did is he panicked too fast. Like at that point you go, hey, you going to leave me hanging? Like that's the rule, man. Like
stay cool.
You have to stay cool and like hold it there for a second. You got to sell the play action. It's like you can't. So, anyways,
he had too many smelling salts.
Yeah, too many smelling salts.
He was ready to go.
Yeah.
And I just want to give the Commies offense some love. I mean, obviously coming into the season, everybody's excited to see the usage of Debo in this offense. And something that jumped out to me was what we call pony personnel type designs, like two running backs for our listeners. When you have Eckler and Debo on the field, they're actually really similar skill sets, despite Debo being classified as a receiver, Eckler being classified as a running back. But when you have those two guys in the field, it marries so well with the misdirection stuff that Cliff Kingsbury wants to do in the run game.
Yeah.
Like you got Debo coming on jet motion one way, Eckler going the other from a back alignment. Either one of them can take the ball or Jaden Daniels can keep it. They're basically triple option designs from the gun. And then obviously you can add a pass wrinkle to that, leak a receiver out in the flat if Jaden decides to keep it. So I think it's a really tricky kind of concept for defenses to not only just defend when they're into that design, but even just matching personnel. I mean, you match it with base, you got a mismatch in the passing game with a linebacker, or you match it with nickel and you're a little light against the run. So
I think it's a brilliant little wrinkle, and it makes a lot of sense when you look at the way this roster is constructed. You ink your number one wide receiver, but outside of him, you don't really. When you look at the group of wide receivers, like you're not like blown away,
right?
And there's some people that don't believe he's the highest end one. I think he's a one. I mean, like let's keep it simple. The thing is when you put those two guys in the backfield with the threat of quarterback run, so you're always a man up in the run game, and then with the formation flexibility and the matchup issues that causes, man, like they're basically like receivers for you.
Right.
And it also is like, hey, they shipped Brian Robinson away. I know they feel like they have a stable of backs.
Yep.
This is going to be a fun team to watch. And they only gave up, how many pressures?
12 pressures.
12?
Yeah.
So
Eckler and Debo.
Yeah, Bill
Crosby
Merritt.
Bill Crosby Merritt.
The rookie
Old
back.
Bill.
Yeah.
So anyways, I think the Commanders should be counted in that group. We want to see them be more tested, but the Giants probably not the stiffest test week one. The front's pretty good though. I did see Abdul Carter win on Tunsil, and like his hips, he's got lazy Susan hips. Like a lazy Susan, you turn it around on a.
Yeah.
Somebody told me you can't say that anymore.
The lazy.
I was like, why don't we call it an active Susan? You know what I'm saying? but like, lazy Susan swivels 360 degrees. That's kind of like Abdul Carter for me. Like when you watch his hips, like I said this, when he's down the middle of you, he's still on your edge. It's going to be fun to watch him. The other team that we should talk about for sure, because this was a good football game and one that if you're paying attention to the NFC West, I think all of these teams are going to factor into that race. I think Seattle's going to get better as the year goes on. I think they're going to be really tough to deal with. But the Niners should be counted in that group of NFC elites, even though I don't think that they are because of what I foresee with an aging roster. some injuries. I mean, we already saw George Kittle have to leave the game yesterday. You had Jawan Jennings get hurt, who, by the way, wants a contract, and I feel bad for him because I respect the hell out of him. He does everything well. But just this morning, they had to go out and get Kendrick Bourne to give him $5 million for 1 year. So, San Francisco, I talked about trading for Sky Moore. Pearsall made some big plays yesterday. Brock Purdy had some panic throws. Like that, for me, like Brock Purdy, the Brock Purdy I know extends plays to make plays, not extends plays to throw the ball in the air into a crowd of people. Like that he could be better, right? But I look at that game and I thought the defense for San Francisco played fast. Okay, like Stout got picked on a little bit.
Yep.
The rookie, early in the game, but made a big PBU late. Got beat on play action pass with JSN. D Winters, he jumped out for you.
Flying around, striking people, made plays in space. There was the play, it was early on in the game. Charbonnet tries to step up to pick up the blitz, and
he just trucked him.
Yeah.
He trucked him. So
right
you got to love to see that. Like whoever, that's another best job in the world, like playing next to Fred Warner.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
And look, and this is what I was going to say. My game ball is going to Robert Saleh. He got that defense. He has that defense humming. Like he's a guy that we all know his situation was sour with Aaron Rodgers and like what was next for him. And we all seen when he got this position, or he was even seen back with San Francisco and in the organization consulting, and how it would eventually lead into a job. I'm happy for him. Just this is probably a good taste in his mouth to help the team to get a win like this, where your defense obviously is the reason why you guys stayed in that game.
Feel it down in my plum.
And Bosa talked about how hype he was to have him back on the staff. He was like, he calls great plays.
he's an
I love playing with
energizer.
him.
He's a good human being, dude. That's the thing I see from a distance with Robert Saleh. And obviously, I know Joe Douglas, so like I hear a lot of stuff about what he was like in New York. Saleh's just a fucking quality human being who's got a track record in San Francisco. And when you watch them come up just short in the Super Bowl 2 years ago, they missed that guy. And I think it's one of those things where like, Mark Sanchez had his comments on his ex, or but I think like for Shanahan, he always wanted his ex back. And I think for Saleh, he's up in the supermarket getting his groceries, and New York media is following him to his car after he gets fired. And he's like, man, I wish I was in San Francisco. So I love for Saleh that, you're able to get this win on a big play by Nick Bosa. That feels as good as a strip sack, backing a tackle into a quarterback and taking the ball off him.
He looks happy as a clam.
The other thing I wanted to mention when we talk about an aging roster, I thought Trent did not look himself yesterday. So that's one thing you got to keep your eye on. Like, he's a big part of it. And then McCaffrey, you gave him the ball 31 times. He hasn't had the ball that much since like 22. And he's like a fucking factory worker. They don't give him any breaks. Like,
should go on strike.
Yeah, he's like a coal miner, dude. And he comes in the game with a cap. And they're just like, burn the ships. And I respect it and everything. But like, Shanahan don't care, dude. They give him the ball.
Yeah, I thought that was
Yeah, but you got to be worried about the Niners down the stretch, right? With how banged up they are right now, week one. And I thought Seattle looked physical, man. I like
Seattle.
The Niners got away with one a little bit here. Yeah, think about their front. Like, Leonard Williams still is a really, really good player that I've been excited to watch. Byron Murphy, in his second year, I thought he had a pretty good game too. Like, I like that Mike McDonald defense. And like, dude, the Seahawks were driving to win this game at the end before that play you mentioned, Chris, where Bosa backed the tackle right into Darnold and he fumbled. I don't know. Like, I feel like the Seahawks could kind of do one of those things where they just play consistently solid, despite this week one loss, and could be more of a factor in the NFC West down the line. I didn't really think that they played bad football. Honestly.
No, I actually had the Seahawks win the damn division, which might make me look like a crackhead week one, but I think it's going to be a work in progress for that offense. Like, listen, I think the defense.
I saw Nolan frowning though. Nolan, you disagree with that take? You're out on the Seahawks.
Well, Matt Stafford's health is going to be tough, but
no, I agree. I think the Seahawks will still be in it. It's early. I agree with Chris though. I think the offense, there's a lot to work out there. They're kind of trying to marry, like, Darnold's coming from the O'Connell outside zone, play action, intermediate level passing game system, and then Kubiak's obviously like get the ball to the playmakers
Right now.
Well,
and they're trying to make both things work.
And they had 22 minutes of possession yesterday. Just ran just 50 plays. You know how much of a momentum, or like how much can you get into a momentum or a rhythm with that little game ownership?
I think the most encouraging thing for them though coming out of that game was the connection between Darnold and JSN was immediate.
Yes.
I think everything they do going forward should just be building.
But they don't have a lot of playmakers outside that. And that to me is like, that's the question. And I thought Darnold, like when you talk about the reason they lost the game is 2 fumbles. I mean, it's not the only reason. I thought Woolen, as good as he is, ended up in some situations where he looks turned around with the ball in the air and the whole thing. Yeah. I also got a shout out with Kittle down. How do I say that? Tongs, I wanted to say, but Tonges.
That was a snag.
It's an incredible catch, and not to mention
such a great catch.
Not to mention they had the third tight end make a big 4th down,
Luke Farrell, yeah,
big 4th down play on 4th and 2. But I thought like Darnold did enough to win. 2 fumbles. They got to clean that up. I think the offense will get better as the year goes on. Remember, we were bullish on Kubiak last year in New Orleans. So
fly on the wall. Deebo Samuel watching Moody still miss kicks.
Oh yeah, dude.
Still miss kicks and be like, hey, y'all remember how mad y'all got at me for shoving him that game and he ended up making the rest of those kicks that game? You got to scare him a little bit.
Debo's on the bus watching that game.
I told him.
Like,
one of them got blocked, right? And like they just just panned to Shanahan. He was just like, "Fuck!" He's seen that movie so many times.
Yeah. That's getting old for people, especially like twisting the knife as you drafted the guy.
Yeah,
you like so he's got to play better. But I think the NFC West is going to be one of those things that takes a while to sort out.
That's it.
There he is.
Sorry to the locals out there in the chat. We can't show NFL game footage.
There's a double hand throw with it.
Yeah.
A double throw of the hand.
And some lip reading too. But
it's like somebody had just stolen his gold claim in 49.
Yeah, that's pretty good. So we've got a class of teams now, and I would say this, like we'll go back into the AFC where we're really looking at the AFC North and saying like, who are the Steelers? Who are the Bengals? We'll start with the Steelers, right? And that might have been the best football game of the day, say for Sunday Night Football.
Definitely was.
That was fantastic, boys. That was great.
Yeah, it's amazing.
That's the most fun I've had watching the Jets, I think, ever.
They were fun.
This is the ex-girlfriend game for both of them. When's the last time we had
double ex-girlfriend?
The following year, the starting quarterbacks basically just swapped teams.
Dude, you know what Fields would have said if they asked him after the game, like, are you happy to get this win over the Steelers? He would have been like, no, like, last year was good. Like, I learned a lot. And then they asked Rodgers, he's like, I want them all to die.
He's like, they did nothing for me. They got it. All his friends to come. They spent 2 years with him. Yeah, like, no, fuck them all.
Fuck them all. But I do think the Steelers look good offensively. Like and there'll be games where they don't look as good. But I thought the big question mark for me was what would Rodgers look like off the injury? 2 years off the injury, because everybody says Achilles, you get a year out, like you're a lot better off. At his age, I have my questions, but he looked good throwing the ball off platform-ish. Mm-hmm. He hit all the staples, the back shoulder fade, the quick game, and a lot of what they're going to do is going to be predicated on DK taking the ball and running with it in space, hitting the slant and going for 70 yards. That's what you hope for. Also, Jonnu Smith is going to factor into this offense heavily. A lot of screen game, gave him like a jet sweep in the red zone. So, I mean, as you look at this group, I think the biggest question mark is Broderick Jones. I mean, that's going to be a problem. And Will McDonald looks better, and he looks bigger this year. He absolutely earned 2 sacks yesterday on Broderick Jones. Fuaga was solid, gave up a couple pressures. I thought Jermaine Johnson beat him on a spin move, and that was a little bit of somebody's going to look at that and say, okay, we can beat him with counters. But I think Broderick Jones is going to be the question. And they shredded some man coverage. I mean, like, that's when Rodgers is at his best. Like, be careful playing man against Rodgers. And I thought, 35% man coverage from Aaron Glenn, not a huge surprise. Couldn't get the run game going. If they can't get the run game going, that's going to be a factor in more competitive ball games in the future. And I don't mean this game wasn't competitive. It is the Jets at the end of the day, but Aaron Glenn is out to prove we are a new look Jets team. And the one thing we're going to do is, and this sucks, like I don't care with the record of the team or anything like that or who's playing quarterback. When you play the Jets, now you have to buckle your chin strap that week because they're going to run the fucking football. And I was impressed with that.
Jets hangover? Is there going to be a Jets? Is that the Lions hangover this year?
I don't know. I think the big question to me is like, are the Steelers going to be? Are they going to be leaky in the run game? Because like you've got this group that on paper looks fantastic, and you always see this. And Charlie, you pointed this out. Like when you get free agents and they're aging veterans and that sort of thing, you kind of wonder. Now DK's not aging. But Jalen's on the older side, and Aaron Rodgers certainly is. Those guys all made big plays. Jalen Ramsey closed the game out.
Yeah, he did.
DK made some plays. Aaron Rodgers obviously made some plays. So they got what they wanted out of their acquisitions. But will the defense be as good as we expected? Now, I know that they were down the rookie and everything, but if that's what they're going to be, and you can run the football on them, that really lowers the ceiling of the defense. Now, is it an aberration? We'll see. I think for the Jets and Justin Fields, though, that was as comfortable as he looked in the NFL. You think about some of the weapons that you might say he's had at different points of his career, and at the end of the exercise, you're like, I don't know, like if he's really had a lot. You got two really good running backs there. You got Garrett Wilson and an offensive line that plays physical. And he factors into the run game and all the gadgets that come off of it. So I think the Jets are going to be a tough out.
And speaking of run
along
game,
those lines, Chris.
Bo.
Yeah, no, sorry. I was going to say I got some flowers I want to give out to the Jets offensive line. This is my STL Memorial winners. Armand Membu.
Yeah, how'd he look?
Played really well as a rookie, man. Like some of his backside cutoffs are really good. I watched this run game pretty closely. But also like Jets had Vera Tucker go down with a torn tricep this week, shuffled their O-line around a little bit. Want to give Joe Tippmann, Wisconsin Badger alumni, some love. Yeah, he's kind of a ratty dude. He's got some steez. He went over to guard. He played really well, and I watched all this run game. One thing that Cowboys sent me, Breece Hall had 19 carries for 107 yards. 90 yards of that was after contact.
Yeah.
So I'm like, on one hand, is he running hard, which he was, but then also on the other hand, let's remember it's week 1. And, first time kind of live tackling. I think it was more his yards after contact was more due to kind of poor tackling by the Steelers defense, which is atypical for that unit historically. But he also did play really well. And then you spoke about how Fields looked really comfortable. I love the way they use him in their run game too, with zone reads.
Yeah.
They use him on zone reads in critical moments, which is kind of what you'd expect, right? With, the Steelers did that exact same thing with him last year. But then also just like the way they were able to get their run game going really helped him out with like moving the pocket, play action pass, things like that, which I think attributed to how comfortable he looked. I was pretty impressed with how their pistol zone read looks. Like it seems very basic, but when you can get, your offensive, your gun run game going out of pistol, it just helps confuse the defense just a little bit, just a little bit more. So I was pretty impressed with the run game, man. The Jets did a good job. Like they ran a lot of inside zone. Nolan had a breakdown of that. It was like,
they were
inside zone, outside zone, no gap scheme.
Yeah, it was a ton of zone. I think they ran the most inside zone in the league in week 1, and they're like top 5 in outside zone usage too. So
which makes a lot of sense.
But, I mean, that's a confusing Steelers defense, man. They do a lot of movement. They present a lot of 3-down looks, especially on early downs. But where they really ate is like their inside zone runs against their Steelers nickel defenses. It was pretty impressive. And then a lot of those big runs from Breece Hall came from, missed tackles, poor tackling, and things like that. They looked solid. Like the O-line looked good for a unit that had been moving around, within the last week. I was actually very impressed.
Overreaction early, even though
you
they're
put the
0-1
in the Super Bowl.
I know, even though I did put the Patriots in the Super Bowl, if you do look at that AFC East, you right now after the first week could say
they look like the second best team.
Easily
in the
second best team. And if you just watch the game and the quarterback that they have is capable. And if the Jets, it seems like with Aaron Glenn as their coach, they're going to be playing tough. They're going to be in games. They're not laying down. So just that alone can probably will you into a couple of wins during the season. And it seems like the quarterback, the head coach are on the same page. Just listening to them in the press conference, I think everyone in that building now wants to win right now.
If you're a Jets fan, the last time you really enjoyed watching Jets play football was Rex Ryan. And there was a physicality, there was an attitude about it. Aaron's different in personality than Rex, but it's the same kind of fuck you.
Yeah.
And if they play fuck you football, they're going to get better in the process, and the culture is going to build. So,
and I tell you what, you better hold on to the ball, Gibson, because it seems like it's going to be an uphill battle for someone like him. Like Coach said, a coach like that, if you turn over the football, it lowers your percentages to win games.
That's a huge play.
And coaches like that, when they say stuff like that, you probably, if you fumble again, you're probably going to be looking for a new team.
I got to mention, worst seat, Iron Eagle having to stand next to fucking J.J. Watt. I didn't even know what Iron Eagle looked like. That was like seeing the Wizard of Oz a little bit, dude. And he happened to be standing next to like Shrek. I mean, it was crazy, dude. That just looks wild. Golly. It looks like LeBron and fucking Kevin Hart in those commercials that I've gotten so good at tuning out. Probably giving them out without the rapper nasty.
I got to mention this.
By the way, what were you saying, Beau?
I got to mention for this game. I hate kickers. I was kind of shitting on already. I know Fax is already on this thing, but imagine you're a kicker, all right, and you hit a 60-yarder to win the game. Your coach, Mike Tomlin, one of the most renowned player coaches, tough guy, gets up and calls you a serial killer for the entire world. It's a pretty good feeling, man. So game ball Boswell for the Steelers. That was a kick, man.
Listen, somebody in the chat, Harry Mills, said Rex Ryan had Chris Jenkins, and that's true. I think what this group has is Quinnen Williams, and they've got Sauce Gardner, and I think they paid Sherwood, so they like him.
If you're a Jets fan and you watch the game, like honestly,
they've got two edge rushers.
All of your stars that you like, you heard their names during that game.
Dude, that's because there's good furniture. Like when somebody's like, hey, I want to sell you my house, but I'm in a hurry. I want to close soon. And like, you got to take all the furniture in the house. Like this house is furnished. There's some nice, like there's a sectional that I want to keep. The dining room table's fucking nice. It's a well-appointed single family home. And Aaron Glenn just moved in, and he's like, man, I think we might be okay. So, Jets fans, everything's going to be okay. It might take some time. The other team in the AFC North is the Bengals. And I think, because I'm Mr. Bengals, right? I bite the cheese every year with these guys because I think Joe Burrow's that fucking good, and I think the offense got better this year, although it didn't show yesterday. I don't worry about the offense. I don't worry about it felt like a highlight reel of sacks. It felt like they were taking sacks all day. It's because they took 3 in a fucking row. They, in the fourth quarter, had less yards than any team since, I think, 1991. They're still looking back to see if there's a team that had less fourth quarter yards than the Bengals. They got to go back to, like, the Canton Bulldogs, I said. But the defense, which everybody's been shitting on, I know it's the Browns, there were some encouraging moments from the defense. The Browns dropped some passes, tips and overthrows, got to have those. That's the saying in the NFL. They made the plays that were there for them to make. And Al Golden, who actually coached me in college many moons ago, when you hear the quotes after the game for the guys on defense, they feel like they're playing with a different energy. It's a clean slate. There's so much bad energy that follows you around when you're on defense. The guys are hurt like they were last year. The secondary's in shambles. It just feels like every time you take the field, it's here we go again. I also think Lou Anarumo, as much as we liked him, probably threw too much at some of these guys. And Golden's going to keep it more simple. I think the rookie 44, is it Knight?
Demetrius Knight, yeah.
I texted somebody I really respect in the preseason. I was like, hey, man, you got to watch out for this guy. I think they might be a little better on defense. And this could be fool's gold. But I really like Knight. I think Logan Wilson was all over the field yesterday, but Demetrius Knight can play. He will be a player for them. He's rangy, he's big, he's physical, he's got good instincts. He's one of the better rookie linebackers I've seen on tape so far. And yet the run fits in the preseason looked fucking abhorrent. And they were playing the Commanders, and they couldn't fit anything. but that is the preseason. They looked better yesterday. Did a good job in the run game. 2 takeaways, 49 rushing yards. Cam Taylor-Britt still not a bright spot, but I thought little things like Osai playing really well. Like Osai on the battle pick had a pressure, had some good reps inside at the 3. I thought even Shamar Stewart took a step forward and played with his hands a little bit. We talked about like he was kind of playing like a damn like somebody who didn't have hands. Like it was like these things you use them right in the run and the pass. So I thought they did enough defensively to scrap together a win. I'd rather see them win a game like this week 1 than have to win a shootout with the Browns. Like totally fine. Yeah, you're gonna have a hard time blocking Myles Garrett. That ain't gonna change. I don't care who you I don't care if Anthony Munoz comes back to play tackle for the damn Bengals. That's going to be a long day for both of them, right? So, like, I think the offense has got to improve. It will, but the defense played well.
The thing that's so confusing to me is, like, the Bengals start so slow every year. It feels like such a generic game plan. So I was talking with Ryan Griffin, played quarterback with me in Tampa for a long time. Got him on FaceTime bright and early this morning. It was kind of a delightful way to wake up. Anyway. Yeah. He made a really good point. He's like, the Bengals, part of the reason they start so slow is because they're such a game plan, drop back, passing offense. And early in the season, you don't have as much tape to work with on teams, even though these are all, familiar NFL teams that you've played before, yada, yada, yada. It's just really hard to scheme up a team and, be comfortable understanding what coverages they're in, getting in your best look offensively and things like that. And I feel like that's truly a big part of it. Like you look at the tape, I watched especially the second half, just be like, how do they only have 7 yards of offense? That's truly incredible. And it didn't even seem like the Browns at times are doing anything crazy. You know what I mean? Like, yes, like you said, Chris, Myles Garrett had 3 incredible rushes back to back to back. I don't know how Joe didn't get a sacked for a safety on that one. He was jumping over dudes and things like that. But it's not even that the Browns were doing anything incredible. Jim Schwartz's scheme defensively, it's really not complicated. It just feels like the Bengals are so just like they're so meh.
But do you remember
they
though?
Get it going. It's just nothing.
Okay, but do you remember last year how the season started? Does anybody remember, guys? The first game of the season.
Right?
Do you remember?
I remember.
Terrible.
Do you remember how the offense looked?
Terrible.
Not good. They played the Patriots. Okay, and by the end of the season, they were like the greatest show on turf. I'm not worried about the offense. If somebody wants to tell me in the chat or in here that the Bengals offense is something you got to worry about, I would say like, hey, you're smoking crack. Yeah. Now, for me, defensively, I am taking a flyer on the defense improving. And I'm not saying they're going to be a top half defense. What we're saying is if they can play like a 20th or 17th best defense in the league, they might win the division last year. They won 9 games, invented new ways to lose, and the defense was fucking terrible. So I just look at the defense and say, hey, I'm not saying they've arrived, but I'm saying they got better at linebacker. They'd like to think they got better up front. I think Chris Jenkins is going to factor in more. Speaking of Chris Jenkins, is going to factor in more. He played with a club on his hand last year. The rookies are going to take time to develop. The secondary is the key.
Yeah.
If they can just survive out there,
this
team, if you're scoring 35 points a game, you don't need to be world beaters defensively.
Yeah, and I thought there was improvement there too. And Chris, you mentioned Al Golden earlier. I thought he did a great job just keeping things simple for these guys. Cover 1, cover 3, cover 6. That was it. Battle, Turner, Hill, all those guys made nice plays. They were fast, played on a string, and kept a lid on top of the defense. But like you said, Cam Taylor-Britt, he had a few completions made on him, both in the perimeter and the slot. So we'll see this week when the boys from Duval County come to town, see what that secondary looks like.
We will see. That's going to be a hell of a – and also, Beau, I don't know if you looked at the Browns defense, but I thought Mason Graham looked fine.
Yeah. There wasn't a ton there. I got to watch him more, but it's nice to play next to Myles Garrett.
It is, but he's technically sound.
Yeah,
he's a high floor draft pick in the top 5. Like, you might look up in a couple of years and say, what the fuck? But, I mean, I don't think he's going to be a bad player at all.
There's nothing concerning whatsoever from week 1.
No, and they got that damn German linebacker who showed up in some spots. What's it?
Oh, Schlesinger.
Or whatever.
Schlesinger.
Yeah, Schwarzenegger. The Browns are out to prove they're better than people give them credit for. And I think when you talk to certain people in league circles, like they think they are better. They think this.
You know what a problem for the Browns was though, Chris?
What?
These goddamn kickers.
Well, the kickers. I have a lasting impression of them missing a kick in slow motion with the background being dude wipes advertisements. It was like all dude wipes ads on the Jumbotron, and the kicker shit his pants. So it's like very, very
great marketing by them.
Great marketing.
Yeah.
It really was. I mean, like, hey, let's put the dude wipes ads up right as people are soiling themselves at home. Do I have? I do have. We'll save it. So we're gonna go into the flyover games at this point, right? Is that what we're doing? Land the plane! Return to runway 3! Are the Colts good?
Fuck yeah.
Are the
They
Colts
look good.
Yes.
It's
And I would say, Zaire Franklin, you owe Daniel Jones an apology, mister.
just call Zaire Franklin Mister.
Yeah.
He's like a friend of the program.
Going viral for giving that look, underestimating if he should be a captain or not. You tell me. 2 rushing touchdowns. You haven't seen a stat line like that in the Colts history since Peyton Manning.
No,
bro.
yeah,
They're
yeah.
talking about Daniel Jones with Peyton Manning. Throw some respect on that man's name.
That's a fucked up situation right there.
Right?
But I do think
to stare him down like you respect me now, bro?
it's so funny because they've been on this veteran quarterback carousel. What if Daniel Jones is the one that actually and no matter what happens, they're not a Super Bowl contender? I don't think.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I hear what you're saying.
But the point is, what if Danny Dimes plays him into a situation where he's got to be the quarterback going forward?
Historically,
because you
for
talk
New
about
York sports, this is what happens.
What?
When guys leave a New York team,
They play better.
they play better. It happens to the next.
I don't want to overreact because the Dolphins are. The secondary is not great. Okay, I like the rushers, but the Dolphins, man, there was somebody from 2-and-On yesterday who tweeted, and gentlemen, I feel like Abe Lincoln at Appomattox or whoever fucking went there to be like, yeah, take that, Robert E. Lee, but I finally won the war, and man, it was a hard battle. It was a hard war. We lost a lot of men. In the Battle of Denver, I think we gave up 70 points to the Miami Dolphins. There were casualties, Vance Joseph and his men. But ultimately, the truth kind of came out in the wash. And I told you this. I've told you. And it's nothing personal. So the way that after the Dolphins hang 40 on another team that doesn't make the playoffs, people come shit on me and they're in my mentions calling me names and that sort of thing. I'm not going to be an asshole about it. It's football. I will be pulling for the Dolphins to find the quarterback of the future, but it's just not Tua. And Cameron Sparks, who I think was a part of 2-and-On, he's wearing a dolphin head he's wearing a dolphin mask. So he is
2-and-On.
He said, to all the Tua haters, you were right. Great call. And what? I love that. I love it. We got a sense of humor about it. But it was never hate. And for me, it's just a simple deal where it's if things aren't perfect, he's going to have lapses in judgment. And we saw those early and often in yesterday's game. And I just don't think from a roster standpoint, the Dolphins are in a place to compete for anything this year. The only way they could is if they had an elevating quarterback. I don't think they have that. I think they got problems in the secondary. I want to look closer at that game, but we turned it off in the early third quarter. And the Colts, as we said, have one of the better rosters on a team that nobody's making noise about. If Daniel Jones can just elevate the offense in a way that Shane Steichen, people shit on him because of the Anthony Richardson thing. He had them on the doorstep of the playoffs 2 years ago, playing the team that was the hottest team in football, the upstart Texans, out-dueling for, not out-dueling, but he had a chance to beat the Texans with Gardner Minshew. And it really comes down to a fourth down in that game. That felt like a playoff game. The roster's not bad. They could make some noise this year. I think I put them at second in the AFC South
Yeah.
You know, I know Nate might have some things to say about that, and rightfully so after yesterday. But I think that division could get real interesting if Texans can't figure it out up front, which I expect them to do. But Indy has a chance to be the best of the rest in that division.
Totally.
Yeah.
Can I interest you in a Dolphins cooked menu item?
Sure.
We got
Sure.
some fresh mahi.
So this evening at
What are we in?
we have some.
What are we in
toasted
Japan? This is
Toasted
this
dolphin.
looks lovely. Is this medium rare?
Well, not quite.
Okay.
But almost.
Yeah, that looks really good. What's it sautéed? Who's in the grill down there?
Oh, don't worry.
This is yeah.
Don't worry.
Okay. But the Dolphins
They survived. They
we-
survived this week.
we put the fins on the grill.
They're cooked.
And I'm not saying they're not going to be better than they were yesterday, but it kind of confirms some things that I think I was worried about with that team. So,
Zach Wilson.
dude, it will be must-see TV if Zach Wilson. Hey, let Zach Wilson fuck around and win some games on the Dolphins, and you'll never hear the end of it from
Dude,
me.
just-
I know I talked about taking the high road, but like if Zach Wilson starts tearing it up down there, I'm gonna be like, see?
Zach Wilson just tells Tyreek Hill to go.
I think that's potentially an explosive situation. It's the Tyreek situation, and that's why people are bringing up that trade. But like, I don't know the Chiefs reunion is happening because of the money. So, all right, now we can take off.
Hold up. Hold up.
Hold on a minute, player.
Move on. Electric home opening win for the Jacksonville Jaguars. And yes, it was against the Panthers, but it doesn't matter. Wins in the NFL are very hard to come by, whether you know that or not. And for the Jacksonville to start the season off with a win, I know all the fans were ecstatic. And what I personally am ecstatic about is that Travis Etienne, people have to start putting some respect on his name. It was starting to get to the point.
I think we need a Birdman sounder.
Man, right?
Yeah.
Respect. Because just hearing the stuff that even fans and people were saying when your team isn't doing good about certain guys, if they're not performing to how you think they should be performing, it gets disgusting. And some of the things that were said about Travis Etienne was crazy. So I'm happy to see him. And we got Travis Hunter. He cut his hair, new look.
It's usually a bad sign.
It usually is.
When somebody cuts their hair, just a reminder, usually they're going through something. Maybe you don't want to play wide receiver. Maybe you want to play corner. That's how I read into it.
Yeah, I know. Or maybe he didn't. Yeah.
Yeah,
maybe
fuck.
it is that. Maybe
I don't
it
know.
is that.
I don't know.
But hey, I think for first round, second pick overall, a guy who plays both sides of the ball, didn't get a lot of action on defense, had one tackle, gave up one pass. He had some nice catches on offense. I think Trevor Lawrence potentially missed a touchdown pass to him on an interception he threw. Great play on the defense. But I'm excited as a Jaguars fan, and I think if you're a Jaguars fan, you're always excited after a win.
Sunday.
Hell yeah!
Sunday marked the fewest points, 10, and total yards, 255, allowed by the Jaguars in their season opener since a 29-7 win at Houston in 2017.
And look at that. Hines Allen, he had 8 pressures, not a lot of sacks. Trayvon Walker had 4 pressures. Armstead had 2. And then 1 pressure from Murray, 1 pressure from Smoot, Lewis. A bunch of guys helping out on the pressure. Again, this is against the Panthers. Can't get too excited about it, but it gives the team confidence, and hopefully this can roll over. And just like Trevor Lawrence said, Jacksonville Jaguars, just be consistent.
They're eating the cats.
So basically, I don't want to jump out of the gym yet. I don't blame you for doing it. Like Jags fans, for people like me who said that, hey, they got a long way to go. Remember, this team was tied for the worst record in the league since December 23. So I totally understand if you want me to wear it today for not giving them their respect in preseason, but I do think there'll be stiffer tests, and I'm a little bit disappointed in the way that the Panthers came out. I think this week the Jags have the Bengals.
Yep.
Yeah.
Another battle of the cats.
Round.
So yeah, that's going to be the real test for this defense, and certainly for the Bengals defense as well. I think it's going to be an interesting game. But the Jags, man, Liam Cohen, I should have adhered to my old adage, which is the worse a fucking coach does in the press conference, the worse the moment the coach has in the debut press conference, the better he's going to be.
Yeah.
Remember, Sirianni was nervous. Gannon was corny, and then Dan Campbell was like a barbarian, and all three of those coaches have had successful tenures with their current teams. And Liam Cohen, Duval. I don't think you're capable of sounding as white as he sounded. So I look forward to seeing the Jags play this year, and if they're ahead of schedule, great. I mean, like, love to see somebody fix Trevor Lawrence. I don't know if it's possible. We'll see.
Quickly, what do y'all players do in a delay? They had an hour and 40 minutes or hour and 15 minutes. Is it like
stretching in the locker room, like doing your warm up? You eat a glizzy, yeah. And by the way, best seat, I forgot to give this best seat out, but there was a dude, I think it was Hayward. It was Connor Hayward with the Steelers. He was eating a glizzy on the sideline in the middle of the game, which it's got to sit right here, doesn't it? Mm-hmm. But for him, I guess he doesn't have acid reflux.
No.
Now, where were we talking about stretching in the locker room? Maybe you get yourself a glizzy. And the question is, like, what's this mean for Bryce? I think it's early in the year to tell. I don't know. I'd have to go back and look and see how poorly he played.
Dalton. If you want your team best chance to win, put Dalton in and make Bryce Young. Make him fight his way into the starting
dude.
spot. That's how I feel. I feel like that's how he's going to do better. He did good at the end of the year when they put him in. But if you want to win games early in the season,
you got to bench him first, and then he plays better.
Because how many games? What does it take to start 0-5 where you're like, oh, this season's out the window. Let's try something else.
I think it's how you start 0-5. I would have liked to see them run the ball more, but the game script didn't support that. This team's bread and butter is going to be running the football. And they were down a receiver, down an offensive lineman. Like, I'm not making excuses, but I don't want to bury them week one. I'm not saying I don't think they're going to make noise, but as far as Bryce's development, I can't bury the guy off in 1 week. Yeah. Just can't do it.
He does have trouble in season openers. He has a track record of that. And I don't think that getting rid of Adam Thielen was very beneficial for his season-long trajectory.
Yeah.
You take away one guy who can get open at a decent clip and is a safety blanket.
Yeah.
He's gone, and you have a rookie and then kind of a couple unproven.
That, to me, is a big one, losing Thielen. All right, so anyways, we're really getting the flyovers now.
Let's take off.
All right, we're climbing to our cruising altitude here. Broncos, Titans. Speaking of altitude.
Yeah, mile high, baby.
What'd you think of the game, Cowboy?
Not great, but little shades of 2015, 2015, we had this legendary quarterback,
shades of
Beau
2015.
Legendary quarterback, and then we had this amazing defense,
Yeah.
That's what it was yesterday. Now, played a rookie quarterback who debut, he's firing piss missiles that his wide receivers can't hold on to.
Yeah.
Right up the middle, almost got Calvin Ridley killed.
Yeah.
But I think Cam Ward's going to be a little dangerous. I think week 2, whoever they have the Rams might be a little scary for the Rams. If he gets on the same page.
Man, I want to see him play a lot of football this year. I think that's the one thing you come away from this game saying is he at the very least is going to be fun to watch. Because his completion percentage was not great, but it's just the way the ball comes off his fucking hand.
He made plays.
The flip into the flat, early in the game.
That was his first pass attempt.
First pass attempt. I was like, what?
He's doing things that Will Levis attempted last year, and it completely backfired, and it's working out. Like that one in the end zone where the free runner was coming in, and he threw all the way across his body for the first down.
Yeah.
Or mid-fourth quarter.
Will Levis is drunk.
Yeah.
He's Cam Ward is drunk, but he's on Adderall.
Yes.
Where his brain's still
Let's
working.
go back out.
Yeah, his brain's still working.
Yes.
There's a performance curve with athletics and being drunk, if you're playing beer pong, if you get just the right amount of drunk, you're nasty.
It's a total bell curve. It's a total bell curve. And Levis was on the other side of that bell curve. I think maybe Cam Ward's confidence puts him at the top of that bell curve eventually. So it's going to be fun to watch him play.
Yeah,
But I
gonna
think
be nice.
Cowboy, a lot to like defensively from the Broncos.
Oh boy, dude, we
Those
had
dudes,
6
Allen,
sacks.
Benito,
6
Ellis.
sacks by 6 different players. Jaquan McMillan, the guy who was kind of supposed to be replaced for Jahdae Barron after that draft pick, he makes the play to end the game. Comes free side and strip sacks Cam Ward. Now, I would like to see us run the ball a little bit more.
That'd be nice.
R.J. Harvey and J.K. Dobbins are slicing and dicing and taking off, and Bo Nix doesn't have to do it all. He thinks he has to do it all. He didn't have to do it all. He made some great throws, but boy, he made some humdingers.
I don't think that's a strength of their team, the running back room.
It's not.
It's not, and neither is the linebacker room if Greenlaw's not playing.
Right.
You know, so you talk about like the middle of the field on both sides of the ball.
Sternad did play well yesterday. I think that's more of a more because of who they played.
Yeah.
But honestly, our running back room, you don't have to have a top tier because of how well the offensive line plays.
Yes.
Like they will. That line of scrimmage moves a yard or two forward.
It's the way it's supposed to be.
So,
all right. So hey, obviously the Broncos want to play
Before we
better if
move
they
on
want to
quick,
compete.
I have a worse seat there.
Hit us
for this game. Cam Ward's father in the crowd, getting a little frustrated, caught on camera, kind of like being a fan.
Yeah.
But imagine it's your son's first start, and it's not going the right way, and
he had to lean on the railing. That's incredible.
He needs a cigarette, man.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
It
helps.
He need a black and mild for
Freaked?
sure.
Freaked or unfreaked?
Nah, he's definitely not taking the time to freak a black and mild.
Okay.
Just light that thing up. Light that thing up.
So all right, that's one game in the flyover slate. The other one, we were both excited about this game. Your AFC West division winners. My total team in the Raiders find a way to get a win in New England, and I thought it was a very impressive showing at times from that offense.
Yeah, we have.
Don't do it again. We can't land the plane again.
No.
I have to land the plane on the Patriots.
Like I said, I'm excited about the Raiders. I feel like the Raiders are another team, as your analogy earlier. Maybe they're not a fully furnished house, but they have nice furniture that with Pete Carroll, if it gets rearranged the right way and they get coached up the right way, I feel like I feel like that's a team that you do not want to play like when times get serious down the road. And I feel like they're a tough team. I really, really like Geno. Geno gets a bad rap sometimes, but I just feel like he's a tough, gritty quarterback that the
Confident.
the grass isn't always green on the other side. But if I had Geno as a quarterback, I would feel that my team is capable.
When he plays well, he plays like a top 10 quarterback. When he's not great, there's some variability. We saw both of those things on display. A lot more of the good, though. When you talk about the furniture, there are some fast guys outside on this team. Thornton, Trey Tucker. Trey Tucker's touchdown when they beat the blitz. And by the way, Geno, 9 of 13 against the blitz for 159 and a tud. Like they can access everywhere on the field in a way that a lot of offenses can't, because you don't forget you have two guys at tight end who, and Mayer had a big 4th down conversion. Bowers is automatic.
Crazy.
They think they have 2 number 1 tight ends. One of them just happens to be like fantastic. I think Mayer's pretty good. I think he's a complete player.
Yeah.
And so you got those 2 guys. You have the fast guys outside. You can suddenly access all areas of the field because you have a quarterback with the arm arrogance to do it. Now you do get some of the little bit too horny Geno on the Hawkins pick where he's like throwing it into a crowd, like the bouquet at a wedding. Like that sort of thing. But I think with that run game that they're going to be able to lean on. And here's the most important thing. The offensive line yesterday against the hype defensive line for the Patriots really held the pocket well. I think when you watch that game, Geno had time to operate. And for the Pats, not a great – for all the teams that were hyped coming into week 1, like this is a team that people are trying to hype into being maybe a playoff team or, hitting their win total. They got a lot of work to do. The Raiders made them earn it. They're going to play a lot of cover 3. They're going to play zone. They threw in some 2. It's just going to be a situation where for this defense, Patrick Graham is trying to raise the floor, limit explosives, And I thought that's what you saw was Drake May had to take the profit over and over again. And does that get old? Yes, it does. I think for them, the vertical element that they need to find might be there in Boutte, who had a really good game. Find different ways to get Stephon Diggs the ball. But, like, here's the most troubling point. 24th home loss since 2021. That leads the league. That has become a factory of sadness in the post-Brady era. The other thing I want to mention was Will Campbell. I didn't think he looked bad. He's catching some shit because he had a false start on 4th and 5, and they had to punt the ball down 2 scores late in the game. Gave up a strip sack to Kuntz. But after the game, you hear Crosby talk about him. He was pretty complimentary. And I don't see a guy that's overmatched. I think he's better than the guy. I watched the Houston guy this morning, like easy. Like he's going to be scrappy. He's going to find ways, even with the T-Rex arms that everybody's making a big deal about. I thought at the very least that wasn't a structure fire.
Yep.
Chris, I'd like to talk about the Patriots' run game for a moment.
Let's talk about
Something that I was interested in seeing. The Raiders kind of shut them down, man. I mean, they had 18 rushes for 60 yards, and I was watching it because I think we're all curious about what the identity of the New England Patriots is going to be in this new era, and I was pretty disappointed in it, man. It doesn't feel like they have a run game identity whatsoever. They went to a lot of different things, which I can understand. You know how it goes. Week 1, if things aren't really working, you're not moving the ball on early downs, try some different shit, right? So they came out and they ran some wham stuff at like 12 personnel, try to get it going. That didn't really work. Their longest run came on 3rd and 1 out of like a fake tush push look. And it was a 14-yard run. It was like a wing tee that just kind of, everyone defensively is inside, and they got to the edge of the defense for a 14-yard run. But the biggest thing too is like they got some, like some maulers a little bit on the Patriots interior offensive line, and they did not do a good job of climbing to the second level and securing like those linebackers. I played with Devin White in Tampa. He's fast as hell. He had a really good game, and so did Atlanta Roberts for the Raiders.
I love you,
Those
Rob.
dudes were, those guys were really fucking tackling, man. So that was kind of the biggest thing. They also tried to get to other run game stuff like pitches. They did some interesting gun runs out of like gap scheme looks where they'd arc the front side tight end and then pull the backside guard to try to, get the ball on the edge out of a gap scheme look. And they just couldn't make any sort of hay whatsoever. Now the Raiders defensively, like they did a good job on the second level. Linebackers came downhill. Those dudes had a ton of tackles. But I think that's going to be a big thing, is to just try to get some pressure off of your young quarterback and Drake May, like get the run game going in New England. It seems like that's what Vrabel's going to want to do, like down the line. Just really did not happen whatsoever. So hopefully they can figure out what's working for them and just commit to it a little bit more. There was like probably 7 or 8 different variations of runs from New England. They couldn't get shit done.
I think they look at Drake May and say, hey, if you're Vrabel, is my quarterback better from a ceiling perspective than the guy I had in Tennessee? Yes, I think he believes that, and I think the security blanket is the run game. So if they can't get that going, that's a cultural piece that if that's missing, you're going to stunt the development of Drake May.
They abandoned the run game in the second half too. I think they're only like, I got to look it up, but there were only like 3 or 4 runs in the entire second half.
Yeah, no bueno. You know what else is no bueno? I want to give an anti-Bevel Conway to the kicker for the Patriots. He's wearing number 36. That's an interesting choice. He's also got a tattoo, which is not usually. Joey Sly has a tattoo. Shout out to Joey Sly, but like not a lot of kickers have that. It's just a weird aesthetic. Can you pull this kicker up?
The arm sleeve as well. Correct?
Arm sleeve as well. Like he's. I'm just not into that. Just swing your leg, as Matt Prater said. I'm old school. Just swing your leg. All right, in the last flyover game, Cardinals Saints, and I absolutely flew over this game. Like I can't see what's happening in the Mercedes-Benz Dome from an airplane, and I didn't see what happened.
I was able to see the hideous uniforms the Saints were wearing. That's my anti-Bevel.
Indoor Wake Forest, bro.
Brutal. Absolutely brutal.
And the end zones look good.
Yeah.
But the uniforms, not so much. Big win for the Cardinals. We will dig into that more. I'm sorry. Does anybody have anything on this game?
Well, we should shout out Spencer Rattler.
Yeah,
he
came
did
down the
lead
last
him.
throw.
Yep, he did lead him down the field. We did. I think we did watch the end of that game where he tossed to the sideline, but he did get the Saints within within a shot to score and win the game.
Yeah.
But I think we do need to
That's
give
the reality show kid, right?
Rattler?
yeah.
Which one?
He was
Spencer Rattler.
He was on that
Last
reality.
Chance U or
No, QB1.
QB1?
QB1 under
They
the
hated
lights.
him.
Really?
Yeah.
It wasn't a good look for him on that.
No.
Yeah,
He's shown a lot of growth since
he was
then.
like one of those high school punks. Like,
Yeah.
Can you show
Why
that
I don't
graphic there?
Yeah,
Can you show
and
that
this is-
graphic? Can we screen share that graphic?
So Kyler apparently was up at woke up at 4:30.
Can you show the graphic though? Yeah, there we go.
I was like, I knew some shit wasn't right. Immediately to the toilet. I don't know if it's a true quote, but
That's a New Orleans thing, man.
Yep.
You know, the food's so delicious down there. Sometimes you take chances. You know, a lot like on the football field.
that gumbo.
I don't know.
Much
must have
gumbo.
been.
All right, so we are landing the plane now. That is everything, and it is time for the first installment of America's Teams. Listen, I'll give whoever wants the first draw at it can go. Who wants to be the
I can
first?
do it.
Okay, go ahead, Beau.
You're not going to like mine, but this is a personal shout out. America's team, the Afflito family. You got that pick for me, Cowboy?
Yes.
I don't know the Afflito family.
Well, you will, because they're America's team. My lovely sister Grace got married over the weekend.
Wow. Congratulations.
Wow, congratulations.
There she is. Got to give her some love. Look at that beautiful bride.
And-
And her husband, Paul Afflito, great guy. And they are sitting on a garage beer throne, which was kind of fun.
Which family of the Butter King, they have to have a throne. So.
No question. No
Yes,
question.
That
Hey,
is the butter throne right
health
there.
and happiness
Made
to
from
that
garage
couple.
beer.
Yep.
Marriage is a beautiful institution.
And hey, shout out Paul. Shout out Paul's a big help. Paul's a homie.
Oh,
He
good.
helped
Yeah.
us. Yeah.
Best
with the
believe that
Madness.
Mr. Brightside was playing at midnight
Hell
on
yeah.
Long Lake in Birchwood, Wisconsin, and your boy was sweating, dancing. And
I
loving
bet
every
you
second.
were. I bet you were.
Shout out to the Afflito family, America's family.
I love a good wedding that you really want to go to. You know, because not all of them do you really want to go to anymore. But like, if it's for Beau's sister, is this, by the way, the sister that made me go to that bar on New Year's Eve in Philly?
The one and only, yes.
The under 21 bar, basically. Beau was like, "Oh, we got
What a good time we had.
Oh, we had such a great time."
This is also the sister that one time crashed the Greenlight podcast to tell everyone to donate to her bachelorette fund.
Oh, love it.
Yeah.
Just an incredible
move.
family.
Great move.
Okay, I'll go. Old people, America's teams, old people, people like me, people who are waking up and realizing that they're not young anymore. And the thing that really drives that home for me is the programming on TV. I watched the YouTube broadcast of the game in Sao Paulo, and I felt immediately like somebody who was being ushered to an early grave. Like, it just felt like, hey, like, time to die, boomer. Like, you don't know who destroying is. Time to die. You don't
That's
want to
crazy.
see
You don't
you
know
don't
who
want to see
destroying
Mr.
is.
Beast's like giant fucking pearly white smile as he Squid Games to NFL fans like through a fucking goalpost. No problem. Just go to bed. You're old anyways. The whole thing to me, it's jarring, and I understand like what old people feel like when programming changes, because like I just don't get it.
The
And I'm
YouTube,
old,
right?
and nobody
the
wants
YouTube.
to be the guy that's like is shitting on like streamers or like it's a new, I don't want to shit on young people, but I'm like, man, I really felt it the other night. Like, I'm not gonna throw a fit. I'm still gonna watch the game. Saying the YouTube is inherently an old man thing, and I called it the YouTube. I still map quest things. Another thing is like sign of the times, like Red Zone. For those of you who watch Red Zone, I don't watch Red Zone, but like it's a big deal that Chris Hansen. It's Chris Hansen, right? I get that confused with the guy from Dateline.
Scott Hansen.
Is it Scott Hansen? Yeah, if Chris Hansen's in your house, that's not a good thing.
Yeah, it's not.
Scott Hansen's here to just show you what happened in the Lions game. Oh, we're in the red zone. Chris Hansen's here to yeah.
Hey, buddy, take a seat.
All right, so Scott Hansen, they got commercials on Red Zone now, so people are flipping out. Like, imagine that in America we're gonna commercialize everything we possibly can. We're gonna squeeze all the profit out of everything. Like, not to go here, but like, let's squeeze all the profit out of healthcare. All right, fine. No problem. Healthcare system. But the minute it's red zone, people lose their fucking mind. They're like, I can't sit through a fucking commercial. This is crazy. Capitalism is out of control because
Did you see how much time too?
What?
Like it was like no maximum more than 15 seconds per commercial.
Oh, but people are like, their heads are exploding like in the Clayton Bigsby skit. And all of a sudden now, like, we don't like big business. Well, guess what? Now you're the ants getting crushed, trampled underfoot of this big money first country we have, and red zone is the latest casualty. And Scott Hansen, he shoots a video on Sunday morning or Saturday night or whatever it is in his car, and he's like, guys, I get it. I don't like this either. Like, that's bad, but I hope you'll still watch Red Zone. Like, it was like a plea to watch Red Zone. I felt for Scott Hansen. I do feel for people that love Red Zone, but like, guess what? Commercials are part of life now.
That dude doesn't sit down all Sunday. He's just standing.
It's better than us. Like, we're just sitting there, dude.
Yeah.
Like, he's getting his steps in. So, old people, America's team, I totally get it. I'm starting to feel old. The world is passing me by. Who the fuck is destroying?
Man, you gotta get hit. My America's team.
No, I don't. I really don't. No, that's the great thing.
My America's team is going to the Cardinals because the other day, pulling into a supermarket, you think you have a parking spot, and you pull in, and boom, what's there in that open spot? A goddamn shopping cart that you're about to hit that shouldn't be there.
Yeah.
So don't be a lazy bones. Bring your shopping cart.
This guy's
back.
awesome.
This guy, yeah, he just waits around in different parking lots.
Why did you do that?
And if you don't bring your shopping cart back, he has these magnets that he'll throw on your car when you're trying to leave, and that says you're a lazy bones. And some people, they take it the right way, which is to get out and just put the cart back.
Yeah.
And then other people, you kind of really see how the human mind thinks, like when there's like pride involved and you really don't want to do something. People get really, really upset. And it's honestly, it's funny content. But the gist of it is, until it happens to you, you don't want a random shopping cart running into your car or bumping into, and that's what ends up happening. And so for that, I respect his move.
Listen, it would never happen to me because I'm not a shitbag, dude. Like people that don't return their cards are like,
it's the ultimate human decency test.
It really is.
It is.
Because
and
no one's
same
watching.
thing with lines in airports and that sort of thing. Like, if you're cutting people to get off the plane, you're kind of the same kind of human being. You're the kind of person that, like, when everything goes south and this thin veil between like normalcy and chaos that we call society fails, like, it's going to be the people with the carts that you got to watch out for. And you know what I love about the Cardinals guy is when he throws the fake sticker on. He'll throw the sticker on, people get out, and people are like, what the fuck, man, I'm gonna kill you. and then they pull off again after they throw the sticker off, and he fakes them out. They got to get out of the car again. And he goes, that was your pride.
Yep. Because it is. Because if you want to get out that bad, it's like, just bring the cart back.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
You wouldn't see me on Cardinals. No way.
Man.
No way, dude.
Real fast, Bustin' Diamond in the chat said Bo Nix might blow dicks.
Oh, that's really good. That's good. And it rhymes. That's good. Dynamite drop in, busted. We are at the end of the day, children. All right. Well, okay. Well, who else got an America's team? Anybody?
Tanner?
I'll go again. I got the Colts.
Go again.
I got the Colts.
Ooh.
The Colts are an America's team. I think. Remember when Jim Irsay passed, and he had one of my favorite quotes in general that made me like him even more after his passing, which was like, "Nobody hauls a U-Haul to the cemetery." The guy was all about just living life to the fullest. Maybe sometimes too much, but the guy was a total, off the cuff, authentic human being, which is rare in that class of billionaire. Like, these billionaires that run the NFL, they're stuffy. They protect themselves. They play things close to the vest. Like, Irsay was an open book. He would tweet at like 2 a.m. Like, he was like the rest of us. So this could be a special year for the Colts because you obviously I saw was it Buckner had the Irsay guitar on the way into the stadium yesterday. Mm-hmm. Like, there's a lot of Irsay stuff going on right now. When he passed away, I'm still convinced my Knicks would have pulled that series out if not for the Irsay bounce at the end of game 1. That was definitely like Irsay, like coming down, like his ghost being like, bink. By the way, I saw Rick Carlisle at 7-Eleven the other night. We talked for a while.
7-Eleven the other night.
I love Rick Carlisle, dude.
I saw Rick Carlisle at 7-Eleven the other night.
I did.
That's incredible.
Yeah, well, it's this cool thing about living in the hook. You never know who you're gonna see. But anyways, you end up with Irsay passing away. This is a big tribute year, and Danny Dimes. Of all the people that wears Brooks Brothers, I think he's the most harmless. Like, I really want to see Danny Dimes represent for the Brooks Brothers bros. And I think it would be a big win to see a guy that looks like that you're rooting for. Like, I'm actually rooting for Danny Dimes, and I think a good Daniel Jones is good content for the NFL and for NFL fans alike. Like, he's not hurting anybody winning 9 games this year. Doesn't hurt anybody. It's just good, clean fun every Sunday. So I'm looking forward to seeing the Colts play.
All right. My last America's team goes to the gentleman that found a way to get stuck on top of the American flag during the start of the Jets and the Steelers game.
That's a nightmare.
Bro, I'm still perplexed on how this happened. And then, like you said, like, I probably would have a panic attack and just trying to get off or figure out which way. But I honestly still trying to understand how he got stuck on top of this flag.
Yeah.
That's like you've seen a few
insane.
times
That's
people get
incredible.
stuck under the flag or under the
under's
tarp.
one thing.
And that's fine. Like, oh, that's funny, cute. On top of you had to have been pissing your pants.
And then everyone's shaking it, so it's just like you're like hey, wait.
It honestly looks fun. I wouldn't want to
It
be.
does.
Fall off.
I wouldn't want to be on top of the Stars and Stripes because, like,
100-foot.
Was he getting like bounced around, or did they get him?
Oh
off
hell yeah!
before
Look
that?
at the waves in that thing.
Shit.
He's
dude,
getting
what the
popped.
fuck happened to him?
Bro, he was just hammered.
Oh.
Or the vibration just took
That's
him onto
so
the
funny.
flag, and he just couldn't get away.
Hell yeah, dude. Like,
Dude, this is like a documentary or something, and it's like record scratch.
Oh, Pablo
Yep,
Torre.
that was me.
What
You
happened?
were wondering how I got
Yeah,
here.
I
how did
wonder how I
get
got
here?
here. I really am. Like, I have no idea.
Look at how big that thing is.
That's incredible. I think that's a 300-foot flag. Reed.
What 100 foot
Wide,
wide?
yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Yes,
at least it's
yeah.
53 yards wide or whatever. This guy, dude, just 150 feet of patriotism, and he can't escape it, dude. He can't escape it.
Ugh.
It's incredible. America's team. Anybody else? Man, we'll get better. Well, not better. These were great, but like we're gonna have more America's teams as the year goes on. One of the biggest America's teams are the people battling the book. And that's why we want to encourage you to beat the book. And I want to shout out BetMGM. This football season, BetMGM wants to give you another chance at first touchdown scorers. With BetMGM's second chance promotion, you'll get your stake back in cash if your first touchdown scorer scores second instead. Bet on any pro football player to score the first touchdown of the game. If you're right, you win. That's what it says in the ad read. If your player scores second, you get your stake back in cash. Be sure to take advantage of this offer, and if you haven't signed up for BetMGM yet, use bonus code GREENLIGHT, and you will get up to a $1,500 first bet offer on your first wager with BetMGM. BetMGM, make it legendary. Can I tell you something?
Yeah.
And I've done my fair share of drugs.
Okay.
But there is no drug that
Hell
feels
yeah.
better than a first touchdown score of like longer odds than plus 500. Like,
What was the one y'all hit on last year? We left. It was a Monday night game. We left here, and you were like,
Ricky Pearsall,
yes,
dude.
yes,
Like
Ricky,
plus
yes.
900, dude,
Yep.
on a Monday night. And when I say I woke my whole family up, and they were not interested in the fact that I was contributing to the family's
the college
college
funds.
fund. But that felt incredible. You can go down the street and score some drugs, but you can't buy a first touchdown bet score. That's what makes it so elusive. You gotta use your brain. You gotta take a guess sometimes. I love a first touchdown bet. BetMGM, we see you. We're coming for you. The locals are coming for you. What'd he say? Let me see. So he said, I have a lot of respect for drugs.
You got to respect them.
No, but here's the thing, man. Like we're gonna kick BetMGM's ass this year. They're my sponsor. I love BetMGM. We had a great time in Atlantic City the other night. Go back and if you want to see how we do when we're drunk, go back and look at us reviewing the Eagles game. I thought we did a bang up job. I might start getting fucked up before these shows. But
Coming to you live from the bowels of the Borgata.
Get some more
I'm
LeBron
hammered.
Hennessy.
guys, I'm gonna be different. Like everybody else is like reading, hey, like this promo, that promo. You make a bet. I want you to kick BetMGM's ass this year. I want us to kick BetMGM's ass, and I will help you. So will Steve and Macon. They just didn't do it this week, but in the future they will help you as well. Okay. Anything else, fellas?
Well, I think we got a couple
I got
listeners.
a drip king for you, Chris.
Oh,
Yeah, give us a drip king, Beau.
Drip King.
You don't mind.
Please.
Drip king of the week is Max Crosby. Check out this pregame fit from Max Crosby. I want to know if you guys think I could pull this look off.
Incoming.
It's pretty fucking.
Ready?
I was about to say Max is black.
Yeah. So
Look at this.
the nice thing about when you're totally tattooed
Louis
is like
Vuitton?
it kind of looks like you have a shirt on. Because I was like, oh, that's a cool T-shirt. No, that's just his chest, huh? Is that all Louis LVs?
Looks like it.
I think you could pull it off,
A
Beau, but,
Louis Vuitton Canadian
Really?
tuxedo.
but not
Might be
me.
my Halloween costume this year, Chris.
It's just a bad boy
Something to
right
consider.
there. Canary yellow duffel bag. I'm sure that's a designer duffel bag as well.
With a
If you run hot, that's a great way to kind
Yeah.
of circumvent the meat sweats.
No
Yeah, no
way.
question.
No way.
Yeah,
Bare
but I got
chest
this sweater on
with,
underneath.
What about the
Denim?
pregame meal though?
With
What-
denim?
What about the pregame meal? Are you like shirt off at
Just
the
eating
table?
shirtless.
denim.
That's a great point.
Denim. No, he looks great, man. Look good, feel good, play good.
Are we going viral moment?
Yeah, we're going viral moment.
So my viral moment is going to the Missouri fan that won a contest to kick a field goal
this is incredible.
with a chance to win $25,000. And instead, he took the rivalry more serious, lifted his shirt, had his chest painted with FKU, and turned, instead of kicking a field goal, kicked the ball directly
It's just a squib kid.
at KU sideline during the game. And then the best thing about this that you kind of realize later and after the video is that this guy is an amputee and he has
it the
one
best thing?
He has one leg.
Okay.
I just feel like that
No,
25K
yeah.
you could spend for a lot of different things.
Yeah.
A new leg. I don't know how much prosthetic I don't know how much they cost or prosthetic parts, but I can imagine that they're not cheap. They're not cheap. And you could have had a chance to have 25 extra K in your pocket, and you said, "Forget this.
I'm not in the
I'm
market
going.
for a
I'm
new
going
leg."
for the moment. I'm going for the moment." And he swibbed that kick right at the fans.
Yeah, these new legs they depreciate as soon as you drive them off the lot.
It's a-
So instead, I want to hit the Kansas guy with a fucking football.
He was like, "Yo, I got 25 grand on this game. I'm
Yep.
gonna win the bet. It doesn't matter."
One thing about
That's awesome.
obviously the dude's been through some shit. He's got a fucking great sense of humor.
Has to.
Yeah.
And I'm just telling you that is legendary. He's also probably got a pretty good college fund going. If he's a college kid,
Yeah.
because thumbing your nose at 25K there. Maybe he had
Right.
maybe he had Mizzou and felt real good about it
Yeah.
because they ended up winning that game.
Yeah.
All right,
Let's hear it from.
let's hear it from.
We got some quick rips from you locals. You guys dropped in some voicemails, and
Yeah.
we're gonna play and react to a few here.
Do it.
Field. So I actually went from Connecticut to Washington, D.C. today to see the game. And now I'm back hungover. Got to go to a fucking shit job in the morning.
So this was left last night. He was
That's
a
it?
Giants fan. That was it.
It.
So he went down to the Commanders game. Giants fan. Then went back up to Connecticut.
There
I
was
think
definitely more to that. I don't know. It started midway through.
It started, yeah.
100%.
But so the last thing he said, got to go to a shit job in the morning. Then there was 5 seconds on the voicemail of him probably just realizing, like, God damn, I got to go to work.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
And my team lost.
Well, is that the whole voicemail? That's
There's
what I'm
there's
asking.
let me
front half.
You don't need to play the other. I get the idea. The
Yeah,
guy
yeah,
doesn't
yeah.
like his
That's the
job.
idea, yeah.
That's how drinking on a Sunday works.
Yeah.
And we had a few fans.
Monday stories.
Yeah, that was dynamite.
We had
That's an America's team.
Hold on.
We had a couple fans from the Packers Lions. They wanted to weigh in.
Oh,
after
okay.
that performance.
Well,
from both sides.
Yeah, I'm sure.
At the Frugal Scribe. And listen, I hear y'all talking crazy about the Packers. And look stop it. I know y'all seen Jordan Love, baby GOAT in the building, third in a row. You know the vibes. Golden, new wide receiver, balling on y'all. The Lions, trash. Vikings, trash. Bears, trash. Everybody trash. And the Packers are back. Oh, my goodness. Michael Parsons made our defense look so freaking phenomenal. Can we curse? I don't know if we can curse, but I'm going to keep it PG. Oh, my goodness. What y'all gang? Listen, Michigan men, stand up, baby. I don't know what y'all think this is, but the Super Bowl is coming back home. Lombardi way. Shout out Michael Parsons. Shout out Jordan Love. Josh Jacobs, I love you. You did some things on my fantasy. Listen, all our receivers can catch now. You guys, it is over for y'all. The Packers receivers can catch. It's over. I'm done with y'all. Holla at me next. Not even holla at me next. Holla at me at the end of the decade because the dynasty.
That's a great breakdown.
Oh, man.
Hire me at the end of the decade.
Hey, I like that.
No, that's cool, man. I'm glad you're excited. But we weren't talking crazy. Is talking crazy? Wow, that sounded like it was directed at us. Like we said the Lions would win.
No,
I'm with you, bro.
Can't be talking about me.
I'm with you.
I picked the Packs to win it all, so he can't be talking to me.
Well, we're with you, dude.
Go Pack, go Pack, go.
And then on the other,
and your receivers now catching the ball is hilarious. It's absolutely hilarious. Because they did drop a shit ton of balls.
Wicks caught a great contested catch last night, and I was like, okay, he's over it.
It's over it.
Right.
And then on the other side of that, we had a couple Lions fans.
I'm sure they'll be reasonable.
Hey, this is Biv. I've been a Lions fan since I was born, and let me tell you, man, it was a good couple years, but yeah, it's over. Same old Lions. I want everybody fired, starting with Dan Campbell. Jared Goof, you are a disgrace. I just can't stand looking at your beautiful face anymore. We need to start tanking for Lenore Sellers. We need a mobile quarterback. This is just. Our offensive line is shit too. We also need fucking offensive line now. Christian Mahogany, I thought he would be better. Tate Ratledge, he's young, but not looking good. Graham Glasgow, I want him off the face of the earth. Fuck Josh Reynolds. I hate Josh Reynolds. He cost us that NFC championship a couple years ago, man. Oh my God,
Do you want to motherfuck Wayne Fonts while we're at it?
It's
very reasonable.
Yeah,
that's what.
So he wants to put. Who was it? He wants Graham Glasgow in SpaceX.
Yep.
And just kick him out the trap door.
Yep.
And he wants Dan Campbell fired.
He wants Dan,
which I will not stand for. Dan Campbell's the reason that you feel this way. You feel this way. Bear with me, because you've enjoyed success. Okay, I don't want to speak for Lions fans because, I don't think I've ever had a favorite team in my life that has been so downtrodden over the years. So I don't know what that's like. Although being a Virginia fan can be a motherfucker. Okay.
Oh yeah.
What's getting you is that you've been teased with how it feels to succeed. It is not over for the Lions, and Dan Campbell's a fantastic leader of men, a football coach. The Eagles hired 2 new coordinators last year and made it work. Now, it might not be your year, but they've also whiffed on coordinators over the past 3 to 5 years. The window is not a year or 2. I think y'all will be fine, okay? Let's not – I can't think of an iconic tall building in Detroit. Let's not jump off,
the Ford factory.
The roof of the Ford factory. Let's we'll be fine.
All right, here's another one.
Look, all I'm trying to say is I quit rooting for the Falcons so I could get off that narcotic. And then I started rooting for the Lions. Yeah, I know. I understand what you're saying. But still, man, the Lions looking like the goddamn Falcons. You know what I mean? Except ain't nobody go to jail for soliciting a prostitute the night before the big game. You know, it's actually not the Falcons at all. Go Lions. Just got to block a little better up front. That's what I'm telling myself. Yeah.
I recognize that voice. Okay? It's a friend of mine. And what's incredible is that we drew a comparison between the Falcons and the Lions this preseason in Flowery Branch, and I said, y'all's run game reminds me of the Lions. Your football team, you're starting to build it. Look, down to the aggressive defense now, more man coverage, good offensive line, good backs. So what I'm hearing is a gentleman that jumped off the Falcons bandwagon too soon. For a team that might be the less efficient version of your team now, which is a fucking wild thing, dude. But being a Falcons fan I love Falcons fans because they have such a great sense of humor about what they've been through, and obviously it's easy for me to have fun with them because of what happened in the Super Bowl. So
and every time your team loses, you can go to a fire-ass strip club and just forget about it,
dude.
And have great-ass food. Like,
caller,
damn.
Park yourself at Magic City, grab 140 lemon pepper wings.
Right?
That's what we did. Atlanta's, at the end of the day, at least you don't live in E-Course. Shout out to the caller. Last caller here.
Hey, Chris. My name is Brian, and I'm a Lions fan. All my dumb friends celebrated when Ben Johnson left for Chicago because he was their scapegoat for the playoff loss. Now we're 1 week in, and I miss the days of Jameson Williams throwing deep balls. Is it time for all of us Detroiters to panic? I can't sit through another game like that. I'd rather stay at an Airbnb in E-Course.
Listen, man, thanks for calling in. As I've said, I don't think it's quite panic time yet, but if they look like this in a month, then it is panic time. I mean, they're breaking in new system, not new system, but new play caller offensively, defensively. The nice thing is Dan Campbell, again, is a leader of men. I think you've got your best defensive players coming off an injury where, the bone was out of the – it was nasty. You got another defensive end that's coming off an injury. You add Reed in the secondary. Arnold got hurt last game yesterday. You'll be fine defensively. I just think you played a really good fucking team week one, and since they're the benchmark, it feels really nasty this morning. You'll have another shot at them. Don't lose all hope, Lions fans. You'll be fine.
And stay out of E-Course.
Stay out of
E-Course. And then the last one, we've got a very reasonable, reasonable guy.
This is good.
Yeah, I want y'all to tell Cowboy Reed, all right, that I know what he did. And I want y'all to tell Cowboy Reed that I know that he knows what he did. All right? You tell him I'll see him on Thursday. If not before. Meantime, y'all be well.
That's it. That's from Macon Gunter.
Dynamite drop in, Macon.
He's really upset because he thinks Reed jobbed him on – they have a Highlander beef over the picks, and he thinks Reed jobbed him. And the way you described it last night kind of sounded like maybe you jobbed him a little bit.
I didn't job him at all.
We'll talk about it Thursday.
Zero.
Make
better picks.
Make better picks.
That's right.
Make better picks.
Make better picks.
Yeah, that's not the difference between 0-5 and 5-0.
No.
Whatever you did to him.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And speaking of picks, do we have a pick for tonight? Is the last thing we do. Monday Night Football,
What's
Vikings
the line?
and Bears.
Okay.
Bears are getting a point. 43.5 is the total.
Dude, I think if everything in that Tyler Dunn article is true, if 30% of it is true, then I'm riding with the Vikings because there's probably more work to do than I anticipated in Chicago. I think from a tool standpoint, Caleb's got it. From a tool standpoint. But if the things between his ears are if what's going on between his ears allegedly is going on, then they have a lot that they're climbing out of in Chicago. I think the Vikings are one of the most slept on teams in the NFL, including by me. We get through the NFC North preview in the Pick'em podcast, and we didn't talk about them. And I think tonight they want to make a case for, hey, maybe we should. I think the Vikings win this game. I'm not terribly convicted in it, but I think J.J. McCarthy looks better than people think. Remember, easiest place to play quarterback in the NFL. That's what we talked about last week, and I think J.J. is going to be just fine. 43.5. I'm going to change my mind before game time. I don't know if you guys have a lean there.
27-17 Vikings. Jay Jeff, 7 receptions, 118 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Nice.
Nice.
I'll go 23-19 Vikes. Oh, damn, that's the under. Okay, I'm going to need to evaluate this before the end of the evening, but I do like the Vikings, so.
Olamide Zaccheaus, anytime touchdown scorer.
I love that. Virginia Cavalier. All right, thank you to BetMGM. Definitely like, subscribe, tell your friends. We need more locals. Convert some more people to being locals. We are here every Monday at 2 p.m. Make sure you call that hotline. The number is linked to the show. Make sure you get good and liquored up and give us your best take, preferably Sunday evening of next week. We will be back Monday, same time, same place, 2 p.m. Check me midweek with a guest. Big Cat coming on the show.
Real fast.
If the Bears get trounced, that could be really entertaining.
Yeah,
Big Cat.
exactly.
Yeah.
Real fast, an old friend dropped in the chat. Matthew Kingston said, wait, Macon is complaining about the pick process after his picks were terrible?
Hey, Matt, nothing's changed at all around this motherfucker. At all. We miss you, buddy. All right, y'all. Take care.
Wrong.